Last time on Square Roots, Valerie and Zale get schooled, beat up a robot, and break the sinister cycle of fast fashion by weaving their own clothes. Meanwhile, Garl has an eye for adventure. Garl will never blink in the face of danger. Sorry if my jokes are too corny.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Sant.
Hello.
Johnny Necromancer Brandon.
I thought you were going to call me Keenathan.
Oh yeah, Johnny Keenathan Brandon.
Yay!
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. And this is episode 2 of our series on Sea of Stars. Series of Stars. There we go.
Hey,
Whoa.
you did it.
Hey!
Good times.
It's good times. We're feeling great. It's the beginning of December. We're all already celebrating that good
It's
holiday
beginning
cheer.
Yeah,
to
we're in the
look a lot
Christmas
like
spirit.
Christmas.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite Christmas song?
There you go. What's the one by Wham? I like that song. I don't care what people think.
Last
I like it
Christmas,
too,
I
yeah.
gave you my heart. The very next day, you took it away.
A couple weeks ago, I was in a store and I heard a cover of that song. And I never knew that Wham Miss was a thing until Johnny told me about it. But I wasn't sure if
can't be
hearing a
true.
cover
Don't they call it
counted.
Whamageddon?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
According to the infographic about Whamageddon that somebody posted in the Square Roots Discord server, hearing a cover of the song Last Christmas by Wham does not count as losing Whamageddon.
Aha! So I'm still good. And doesn't that mean that the year that Johnny accused me of ruining his streak by singing it would not count as well?
Well, you know, that was a long
Retrospect,
time
apparently
ago.
so. Just
I've
because I
already
saw it
heard
in
it.
the infographic doesn't mean it's true.
Because I saw something. I was watching that one channel that looks at chord structure in songs, and it was about Last Christmas. So I'm already done. Mine
Also-
is
Oh, go ahead.
Christmas by Darlene Love. You know, Christmas, the snow's coming down.
yeah.
Christmas, I'm watching it fall. Christmas. You know, that song. I love
Yeah.
that song.
I'll also give a
Actually-
shout out to, I can't remember the title of it, but that Mariah Carey Christmas song is fucking good.
All I want for
All
Christmas
I want
is
for
you.
Christmas
Yeah.
is you.
Hell yeah. What a good song.
That is a good song. I like
Sorry that you don't like Mariah Carey, America's treasure. Canada's treasure? She Canadian? She might be.
No,
is
she's
she
not
Okay.
No.
I like Feliz Navidad.
Mm.
If we're
That's a good one.
if we're talking modern Christmas songs, I like that Christmas song that Charlie Bliss and Pup did during the pandemic called "It's Christmas
Oh, yeah.
and I Fucking Miss You."
Forgot about that.
That's a good song.
Aw. Yeah, Jim, I was thinking about in your
They did just a couple months ago.
in your Spotify and YouTube raps the lack of pup.
I know,
content.
no Pup. Usually there's at least one Canadian rock band in my top 5, and there was not this year.
Before
Don't
we
worry,
wrap
pup.
up
You're
this
still in my top
conversation, before we wrap this conversation, I want to give a shout out to Christmas Rapping, the original rap song, and also my childhood favorite, Carol of the Bells.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh wait, John, there was a Canadian rock band in my top 5. Fucked Up made my top 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember if it was David Muma or Jaybird on Blue Sky. They posted their like Spotify wrapped most listened podcast, and it was us.
Yay! We did it again.
We've had a
People have
few
posted
people.
that actually.
Yeah, in our Facebook group, a few people have posted their Spotify Wrapped with us at or near the top of their podcast list.
Imagine that.
I said this back way 100 years ago when we started this show. I said we were never going to be a super popular show with millions of listeners, but that we would have a big, or not a big, but a loyal niche audience, because we're a niche podcast, and the people that like our show fucking love our show.
There's a great line from the musical title of show that says, I would rather be 9 people's favorite thing than 900 people's 9th favorite thing.
Oh, I like that.
I'm kind of on the 900 people's 9th favorites thing side. Less pressure, a lot more fans.
Money is good. Money is good. I like money.
I don't want
Hey,
that.
you
Yeah,
guys
but
wanna
how
talk
often
about
do you
some
give
place
money to your 9th favorite thing?
I guess that's a good point, actually.
It is.
Last Christmas, I lost Whamageddon the night of Thanksgiving because as the minute all of my family members left the house and it was just Connor and I, and the other people that live here, don't be wrong, it's such the two of us. The minute all of my family members left the house, he pulled up Spotify on his phone and started blasting a Christmas playlist. And the second song on there was All I Want for Christmas by Wham.
What does he want for Christmas?
Not All I Want for Christmas.
What do the
What's
kids
Wham song?
want for Christmas this year? I love it when you guys tell me the hot toys. You're
Oh,
you're
yeah.
kind of too old.
17 kinds of perfume and makeup
Yeah,
and all sorts of
yeah.
stuff that I hate and don't want to buy.
It's not a hot toy.
No. Connor wants the Lego Fortnite Battle Bus. That's his big.
Ah.
Okay, that's cool though.
Is that a toy?
I mean,
You don't
it's
consider Legos toys?
Oh, it's a Lego. Okay.
Lego
yeah.
Battle Bus.
I went to the Lego store a few weeks ago. They just opened one in Omaha, and holy
Whoa.
cow, those things are expensive.
Yes,
They
they are wildly
are.
expensive. It is painful.
Like $150 at least for one of the cool licensed things.
Yep. And then you get like the Marios, and those are even more.
Yeah, those are so expensive. One of those Mario things was like $225. I was like,
Yeah,
holy
there was a
cow.
Lego Deku tree that I was very much like, if I wanted to spend a lot of money on Lego, this would be the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had the Lego Imperial Star Destroyer in my Amazon shopping list for 20 years now, I think. How long's Amazon been around? I don't think I've ever seen it go below $1,000.
Yeah, those things, that's like thousands of pieces, right? Those things look so cool when they're put together. An old coworker of mine used to have one.
If you
Last
had one,
Christmas,
would you like hang it from the ceiling like it was flying?
No, because I would be afraid that it would fall and break.
Yeah.
Remember that scene in the first Marvel Spider-Man movie when he drops the Lego Star Destroyer?
Oh,
Lego
yeah,
Death
that's
Star?
painful.
Yeah.
One of the most painful things I've ever seen in a movie.
Doesn't
It made me
Ned do
literally
that?
Jump. Yeah, Ned does it. Made me literally jump and go, no!
Hey,
But then you get the joy of assembling it again.
hey, you there,
No, 'cause
kids?
Once you break it, you can never put it back together.
You want to get high on hot gaming news? I got all sorts of free drugs for you here, kids.
Boop, boop, boop. Hello, police.
What's
A
the hot
Canadian
gaming
man
news?
is offering me drugs. I got some hot gaming news.
Oh, you do. Lay it on us.
I do too.
Clickholding and I Am Your Beast developer is making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tactics game.
I Am Your Beast was pretty neat, but it made me want to play Hotline Miami again.
No, I want to know who saw click holding and thought, you know what, this makes me think of pool times with my favorite turtles.
Yeah. Go back into your shell. Go back into your shell again.
The developer is named Strange Scaffold.
Yeah.
And there's not a ton of info on it yet. It's a turn-based tactics game. It looks kind of small. The screenshots didn't excite me, but you know what? Like, I like tactics, and I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so that's an interesting.
Are they going to go like black and white art style or something cool like that?
No.
I feel like every 6 months there's a new turtle game, which like I'm not
Yeah,
sad
pretty
about.
much.
But there has been a lot of turtle games in the last couple of
There's
years.
that Splintered Fate that was pretty cool.
I like that one a lot.
There's that upcoming PS5 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin.
There's that new rogue, like the one that's like Ninja Turtles Hades. That sounds
No,
pretty
that's
cool.
Splintered Fate.
Oh,
right?
is that Splinter?
Yeah.
No, what's the beat 'em up one? The multiplayer beat 'em up one.
Oh.
That Matt, I think you and I played it on the Xbox. We did a
Yeah.
we did a co-op run.
thought that was
That's why Jim and I are proud to announce our new podcast, Turtles Unshelled, where we play every single Ninja Turtles game ever made.
Starting with that
No.
really
6 of them?
hard NES one.
Oh no!
That underwater
Oh,
level.
boy.
That's
That
when
underwater level.
That's when the podcast is going to be over. Is when we that's the first episode when we try to do the underwater level.
I mean, you just turn on your Game Shark Game Genie cheats and turn the timer off for that level, and
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
you got it. I legitimately bashed my head against that level for years as a child,
It's
and
tough.
never once beat it.
It's possible.
My little piece of hot gaming news is: have you turned on your PS5 this week and gotten yourselves a little treat?
Oh, I did. I changed mine to the PS1.
I changed mine to PS3.
Ooh,
Shredder's Revenge was that game that we played.
that's right.
Matt, have you
Didn't
turned
know there
on
was
I
your?
a
have not
little
turned my
treat.
PlayStation on.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. So if you turn on your PS5, it starts with it'll update and then start with the startup sound from your original PS1. It's
Nice.
pretty cool.
It is pretty
And
cool.
then there's,
and also whenever you hit the PS button to like bring up the PlayStation overlay, the clock that's up on the upper right hand, it's a memory card that's got the time on it. Pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh, it
Yeah.
must be deviled egg time. Hello, Amanda. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, she's got like a Subway drink.
It's from Runza.
Oh.
Wow.
You know what? Amanda
You're going to
needs
have
to
the
start.
Runzas for sure.
If Amanda's going to bring snacks,
Ask her for some
she
deviled
needs
eggs.
to bring enough for everyone.
Yeah, for real. Well, she did bring enough deviled eggs for everyone last week, but
That's
Jim ate
true.
them all.
Jim
That's
just
enough.
ate them all.
Double eggs for one person last week. Barely one person.
How was the diarrhea the next day? I meant to ask.
I haven't-
Terrible?
No, my stomach is conditioned for deviled eggs. I can eat 100.
After
Yeah, but I
that,
bet you got those
Skyline
egg farts.
chili.
No, I did not. Oh, I
Yeah,
have a
didn't.
hot gaming news.
whoa.
Oh, is it about egg farts?
No, it's not. The
It's
thing
a hot new game, egg farts.
the thing remastered Shadow dropped today, just a few
Whoa,
hours
really?
ago.
Woo!
Yep,
That
it's
game doesn't
out
look
on
very
all
good
the
to me.
major platforms. The original was trash.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But they say they got rid of like all the stuff that people hated about the original in the
And left
update,
only
so-
the things they love.
Yeah, so now it's I don't know, it's better, good. I don't know.
How
Wait
does
and find
everyone
out.
feel about that big multiplayer Overwatch game called X Defiant, released early this year by Ubisoft?
Didn't it get canned?
It's
nothing about it.
canceled. It's over. Unsurprisingly, no one has time for MMOs and what do you call those? Live service
Live
games
service.
anymore.
I watched an interesting video that IGN put out yesterday that was called like the death of AAA games, and they talked about how like companies for the last like 10 years have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in these live service games that are not crap. They're technically okay, but just like there's really not a market for them anymore because nobody wants
Yeah.
that shit.
Well,
and
it's like
so-
all the battle royales that came out after PUBG and Fortnite blew up.
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
nobody
that's
gave
part
a
of it.
shit.
Yeah, Fortnite, and to I guess a lesser extent PUBG, or like and to a lesser extent Overwatch, are the only ones that are still kind of ticking. Really, there's a few stragglers here and there, but like
Well, yeah,
I
like
mean,
Deadlock,
Fortnite,
Valorant.
yeah.
Even that Rainbow Six game that Ubisoft made
Oh,
is
Rainbow
still
Six
doing
Siege.
fine.
Yeah, Rust is not like it's not a PvP. Well, it is kind of PvP, but it's more like a survival game. Rust is still huge
Yeah.
with the youngsters.
Don't you see ding dongs in Rust? I thought that was like the nudity.
Oh,
You start off naked.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe I'm mixing it up with a different game.
I've got some
You're
hot.
thinking of Alan Wake 2.
I've got some
No,
hot.
you got hot denim pants. That's what Matt's thinking of.
I've got some hot PUBG news. Whoa, I know that you all love hot PUBG news. Guess what? This month's update in PUBG introduces Sandhawk Destruction. They've made Sandhawk like a destructible map where you can blow
Ooh,
up buildings
cool.
and shit.
Nice. That sounds
I don't
fun.
know if it's like full blown, I'll be very excited, and if it's like you could blow open this wall, I'll hate it.
I bet it's the wall.
Yeah, probably, but still, they have mortars and painters in the game now. Boy, do I love the idea of being able to just like blow up the building someone's in. That's a lot of fun.
It's a
We
terrible
don't
thing to
need
do.
no education. Sorry, that was my wall. It was a Pink Floyd song.
I get it. I got it.
All right, well, does anybody else have any hot gaming news? Jim has some hot Runza news. Jim, how's the Runza? You're smelling it.
Look at this burger.
that
Oh,
looks
it's a
real
hamburger.
yum.
Oh, it's so
A
it's gonna be
cheeseburger,
so
I
good.
guess. There is some cheese. I've never had Runza.
They're known for like their meat pocket things.
Meat
I want to try one of
pockets?
those meat pocket things for sure. That's like on my list
That's what I'm known
for when I
too.
come to Omaha, which I'm definitely going to do.
You should. Any other hot gaming news?
I think that's about it. I think I hit all the hot news I wanted to cover.
All
I
right.
got nothing.
I don't think I.
Hey, we have a
anything
stream.
else. Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah.
We have a stream, and last week we had a weird stream. Right now, I should be plugging the Square Roots YouTube page where Jim, Johnny, and I stream classic RPGs or whatever we feel like streaming on at least a weekly basis. But this week I had some family business, and Vanessa did a stream. And
That's right. I stepped up to the plate.
That's right, and I appreciate you covering for me. Though Vanessa did not stream to our YouTube page because she could not. She streamed to the Twitch. That's right, there's a Square Roots Twitch. Literally, the people in the Discord were like, "You guys have a Twitch?"
Twitch is
Huge
Twitch is so like COVID times.
But because Vanessa wanted to stream the copy of Alan Wake 2 Jim had gotten her for the Xbox, she could only stream it to Twitch, and she did, and it was a great stream, and it is still up for your viewing pleasure. If you want to go find the Square Roots Podcast Twitch page, you can see Vanessa's solo stream of Alan Wake 2. Jim, Johnny, and I were in the chat for sure, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I was telling Vanessa after the stream, I was like, I really enjoyed it, except for the part where Vanessa was in a lodge and she saw a "please wait to be seated" sign and then proceeded to stop playing the game until she was seated. I was yelling at the TV in my living room. And then I put in the chat, "Okay, Google, how do you fast forward a live stream?"
I laughed pretty hard at that, Jim. I thought it was
That's
a good
classic
bit.
Vanessa.
Yeah, classic Vanessa gaming.
I love following instructions. What can I say?
But yeah, we have a YouTube page. Search up Square Roots Podcast on YouTube.com, and you will find weekly Wednesday evening streams of various classic RPGs. Right now, I am playing Illusion of Gaia, and I believe when I'm done with that, Jim is going to continue his Kingdom Hearts 2 stream, which we started on a random Saturday or Sunday because we were bored. And there's also a ton of other content on there, particularly over the month of October. We played a ton of Halloween horror-related games. I played Silent Hill 2. Johnny played Phantasy Star 1 recently. I played Final Fantasy 6. Jim played Chrono Trigger. There's all sorts of good stuff on there, so go check that out.
Mouth washing. I
I played Observation Station 7 or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
Vanessa and I played Observation Station 7. We played that great Save the Queen game that I really want to play again. Like, that was a good time.
Played Hollow Body.
That was a real fun one. That was like a 6-hour stream.
Yeah,
We were
that's a
mad at
long
each other by the end of it. And speaking of streams, or rather speaking of YouTube, while you're there, subscribing, obviously, to the Square Roots pod, check out the Bears in Games Neo channel. That is Johnny's solo channel where he releases cool videos. Johnny, tell us more about that.
Well, I just finished a 12,000 word script for my next video, which I will start editing. Well, first I have to record the voiceover. That's like an hour and a bit of voiceover. It's actually not the longest script I've done. I think GTA 3 is the longest.
3 one was long, yeah.
Yeah. But still, it's going to be like an hour and a half probably all put together, somewhere around there. And I'm going to start editing now. First I record the voiceover, which I record in chunks so that I can rest my sensitive vocal cords. And I'm excited. Hopefully that'll be up in the next... I'm taking some time off from work, so I will work on my YouTube stuff and get some backlog going so I can release more consistently. Because YouTube likes it when you release consistently.
You also recently released a GTA 3 update video on the remake.
On all of
right?
them. 3, Vice City, San Andreas, just about the new update video, and that has got good traction. Although it's one of those things where it did well for a day and then YouTube dumps it because the algorithm sucks.
Yep.
I hate the algorithm. It's my nemesis.
What we get for living in a corporatocracy. Anyway, Bears and Games Neo, go give that a subscription, please. Johnny would appreciate it. We would all appreciate it. We'd like to see Johnny succeed. You want to see Johnny succeed, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you?
I do. How about we trundle over to the quest log?
Whoa. I guess there's not like a fun name for it this time, right? Because there's not like a...
Isn't the,
No, there's a journal,
the guy
I
at
think.
first like the archivist or something?
Yeah.
Ooh,
the
the
archivist's
archive.
notes.
The archive.
Welcome to the archive.
Jim dropped a major spoiler for the game last time about the archivist. I'm like, Jim.
Yeah, Jim
I
likes to
wasn't
spoil
there.
things.
My bad.
Does that, yeah.
MB.
Well, you guys were talking a bunch of shit about the archivist, and I was like, oh, be nice.
He wanted to
Jim.
defend his honor. Or her.
No eating and talking.
No eating and spoiling at the same time.
I'm done eating. I finished my french fries. I'll eat my burger later.
It's going to get cold.
What are you talking about? Mute yourself and eat it, bud.
Yeah.
We'll wait. We'll watch. In fact,
No.
I'll pin you so that you're the
Yeah,
largest.
we'll make
watch.
sound effects for you as you eat. Chew.
I'll eat it really loud.
Yeah.
He's miming eating it, but he's not eating it.
I'm not going to eat it.
What are you, like, not hungry or something? What's wrong with you?
I have my fries. I'm sated.
He's got
can't just
alcohol in
eat
his hand.
carbs.
All right, he's
Jim.
he's
Tell
gonna
me up while
drink
you're
here.
drinking.
Look.
You need some protein in you.
It's going to taste way better after I have a few of these drinks.
That's a fact.
I
don't find alcohol improves flavor.
Something that I can't drink sober. Eat sober.
Alcohol makes Taco Bell 100,000 times better.
I
feel like
have
there's
a problem
other
with this, and
substances.
you know that I do, because you could be a star, Matt, and you won't go to Taco Bell to be in their like viral Taco Bell commercial because you
Yeah.
won't go
'Cause
drunk.
I'm not going to drive an hour and a half to Waukee, Florida. And I only eat Taco Bell when I'm drunk, and I don't need to be drunk driving up to the drive-thru on
On
camera.
video. Yeah.
Well, I think if you
it
can't
feels
choke
like
down
a-
one Taco Bell sober, then you don't deserve to be a Super Bowl commercial star.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Well,
It's
if I
awful when
want to
you're
be
sober. It's terrible.
a popular YouTube essayist, I've learned that I have to be holding a drink. It's either got to be tea or an alcohol drink, and then be like, if it's an alcohol drink, I make points by like slamming
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah.
If I want to be just a regular or like a
could do really
entire
good at
YouTube
that.
celebrity, I need to film myself driving very fast on a road where you can see that the speed limit is much lower than the speed that I'm currently driving in.
Haven't
I
like
don't know that
3
there's
of them
anything-
been canceled recently for that?
Yes.
I don't know that there's anything I hate more in like the video sphere than people filming themselves in their cars. Other than the occasional person that like goes through a drive-through and is like, I'm gonna hork this down in my car and tell you how good it is. I like those. But
What
otherwise-
about those videos where the ladies in high-heeled shoes get stuck in their cars in mud and they're like, "Ooh, I'm so stuck. I can't get out of this
Johnny?
mud."
That's That's pornography.
You guys have some really interesting YouTube algorithms.
I actually have not really looked at YouTube since
Matt
the election.
Matt seems
I'm
like
out.
maybe a lot of
I'm out on social
mukbang.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Mine's
actually,
mud
I
stuck.
fucking
Great.
hate mukbang. That grosses me the fuck out.
Wait,
I
Matt,
don't want to
I could
listen to
add.
people eat.
Matt uses the Square Roots login, so I could just add Mudstuck to his algorithm by searching a whole bunch of Mudstuck videos.
Great.
I just pulled up my YouTube algorithm to see what kind of stuff I'm apparently into, and I have, does Nicholas Hoult know his lines from his biggest films and TV shows?
Oh, wonder what's on my recommended first video.
Yeah, that's
It
my
says-
first recommended video.
It says the biggest thief in speedrunning history.
Wow.
Followed by
Mine is-
Pinwheel. Yeah, I feel like doing a cartwheel out of here. Kitchen Nightmares episode.
National dating standards lowered by The Onion. It's an Onion video.
Oh.
Mine is TV on the radio, Tiny Desk Concert. That's right.
Oh, I love
Friends.
TV on the radio.
Oh.
Some of us have
I love
class.
Tiny
and it's
Desk
me.
concerts.
Yeah, they're fucking amazing. You ever watch that Adele Tiny Desk Concert?
No.
I think so.
I've watched it 100
watched
times.
one.
It's fucking amazing.
It was like Tank and the Bongas. They did a really good little Tiny Desk concert.
The Front Bottoms have a really good one.
You know who has a really good one that's not really my genre, but I still find amazing? Mac Miller.
Oh, I like that one. That's a good one.
That one's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll give a second recommendation if anybody's bored and taking these as recommendations. Sting and Shaggy Tiny Desk Concert.
Oh, that
Fucking
sounds good.
10 out of 10. Amazing.
Does it sound good?
It is so fucking good.
All
I saw
right.
Sting
Apparently
a few years
the-
ago, and I was just like, wow, he still can sing. Like, he has his
He's
voice.
fantastic. And you know what? Shaggy, pretty good.
You know what? I have a great segue. Speaking of mukbang, let's talk about Garl.
Yay!
Is it Garl or Gar? It's
Garl.
Garl?
It's like
Is it
Carl,
Garl?
but with
Okay,
a G.
That's right.
Gar is from Breath of Fire 3. That was the big
The big
Bowser.
meaty dragon guy.
Yeah.
So last time we met the Elder Mist, and now we
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
the
go.
fart.
Yeah,
The
now it's a
sentient
big
fart.
fart cloud. Now we have to go through the Elder Mist trials.
Oh yeah, that thing we should have done last week that we
Yeah.
didn't do.
I
for
did
some
that
reason.
last time. I was very surprised when you guys didn't do that
I
dungeon.
wanted
But
to
I-
do
I-
it.
It's a
Did that whole
really
Somebody
easy
didn't want to
dungeon.
do it.
It's
Not
a
that I'm
re-
complaining, because I had to edit. So as little as possible when I have to edit. Perfect.
It's a real easy dungeon. You go there's like a left and a right and a center, and you just gotta run through and you gotta flip the crystal switch. There's one I think it's the center one that has a little quiz to it where it's
Yeah,
like
the quiz.
what action generates MP?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
What was the
definitely-
name of your
it-
school?
It definitely really lended to Vanessa's theory that this is a baby game for babies.
Yeah.
When
it's
it's
a
like,
baby quiz.
take a little quiz about the game. What's the town you came from?
What's
and the
the
answers
name
are like
of the
Fart
school?
Town,
And there's one that
Solstice
said
City.
There's one that says, it's the job of the Solstice Warriors to destroy the Dwellers. During what phenomenon do they become vulnerable? Which is information that you learned like 5 minutes before that.
It reminded me of playing the old Bible Adventures game on the original Nintendo. In between levels, it would be like, here's some questions about the Bible, and if you get them wrong, fuck you. You're going
Wow.
to hell.
We
I
bought-
actually had a friend that was like really religious when I was a little kid, and we would play that game together, and he would be my guy for the that Bible Adventures would literally be like, which Leviticus proverb is the one that says gays should not be allowed to get married? And he knew them. He knew them all.
wow.
That is Leviticus. Good job, Matt.
Thanks.
More like
But that can't be
Leviticus.
true because Leviticus is the Old Testament, and we aren't bound to follow those rules anymore.
We
That's
do.
not technically
We do
true.
selectively if they reinforce our biases, Vanessa.
Well,
That's
Uh,
not
Vanessa,
technically
that's
true
why,
because Jesus says both the old laws no longer apply, but then he also says the old laws still apply.
Yeah.
So you can basically pick your poison. Even
Yeah,
Angelica's
that's
is
why
cool.
when a woman is menstruating and out in public, we can legally stone her. With our
Man,
snoochie
I wish I could
booches.
stay home when I was menstruating. The Bible had it right. Like, let me just take a week off work once a month. What's wrong with that?
Send me into the goddamn desert for a week.
We get a boss fight at the end of this. We have to fight the Elder Mist, who's like a big robot with a sword or a big stone.
Well, yeah, because you
stone guy.
unlock little parts, like a little parapet.
paths. Yeah.
And a little tower chunk, and all these building bits get turned into like an arm and a sword and the stuff.
Yeah.
That the Elder Mist
another
uses.
fantastic looking boss, you know?
Yeah.
Like this game
Yeah,
and its
these bosses are
bosses really nailing it. All right, let me do a quick aside here. Johnny, you were not with us last week. We talked a lot about the combat system.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to give your thoughts on that?
I've got one question for you. Are you all playing on super easy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like
Wow.
this game very much. I'm not loving
Wow. Okay, listeners.
this. Okay.
Listeners, it's just you and me here playing it on regular.
I played the first half of the game on regular, and now I have to replay it. I'm not replaying it on regular.
I played all
I dropped it off because I didn't like it that much.
I've already done a playthrough where I played all the way up to right before the final boss on regular mode. I earned my easy mode.
Sure, fine.
I
All
don't
right, look,
feel
I'm
the
not-
need to make excuses for the way I like to play a video game.
I'm not gatekeeping.
You know what?
I'm just standing by this gate, observing that it's here, and then pointing at the door and creaking it open and closed a little bit.
Like gate teasing.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that term.
Yeah. Are you guys playing it in baby mode? Who's to say?
I am, because it's a baby game for babies. We established that last week.
So, there's some parts I like, some parts I don't like. I don't think the magic without using magic thing makes a lot of I mean, I get it, and I get, I'm playing it in real difficulty, actual mode, the way it was meant to be played. That's me gatekeeping again. What's up, Matt?
Well, I just wanted to say that at the end of last week, we met the Elder Mist and then did not discuss what he talked about, and we need to discuss that. We did not talk about the magic without magic. And the reason I bring that up is because I was desperate last week to discuss what is Garl doing.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that he can take their little magic jizz chunks and use them, but he also generates his own magic jizz chunks.
Well, they explain that the Elder Mist says that Zale and Valerie are so powerful that it's like a halo effect onto Garl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy that. That sounds like a bunch of bunk. I think they're chunking magic chunks off of the enemies.
And then
I
gobbling it
think
up.
they're generating anything.
So again, I asked this last week, but I'm going to ask it again.
Yeah.
If when Zale is collecting the magic chunks, he's collecting sun magic, and Valerie is collecting moon magic. What is Garl collecting?
Beef magic.
Yeah?
Yeah, food magic.
Food magic?
Okay.
You know what?
Anyway, Johnny, continue. What do you think? You got the timed button presses. You've got the locks.
I'm not so the only thing I've turned on so far is at least I get a response. It makes a little rainbow thing when I hit it. That's the only thing I turned on, is that when I hit A at the right time, it shows me that I did it correctly.
Oh, the feedback thing? That's cool.
Yeah, but I kind of wish it had a
that.
Batman, an Arkham Asylum style, press Y now thing, because I'm not good at this timing. I'm not good at it, and some of those it's so important that you get it for the attacks to do enough damage or do their special thing.
I used to love that system of the Chrono Trigger had it, or Super Mario RPG had it, the time button presses, and I guess that I'm over it. I don't like it. I don't want it.
I'm just not good at it.
I feel like the combat takes too long for all of them. Like, maybe I'm just used to modern RPGs, but, like, just as an example in Metaphor, which I've been playing, as I've talked about, like, you can get through a combat encounter in 10 seconds. And I remember doing the same thing in Dragon Quest 11. You had to turn the speed up in the menu, but you could turn off the animations and turn the speed up, and your random encounters would take just a few seconds. Like, you just ripped through them. And all the encounters in this take forever.
I do try to strategize it so I can get through it as quickly as possible. Like, trying to make sure that people have something queued up, like enough magic points that they can start out with like a Sunblast or her Solstice Strike or whatever, that does damage of the correct type against. And once you learn the enemy weaknesses, it does speed things up a bit. But yeah, there's a lot of delay to the animation. But I don't mind. Like, I just have a podcast on. It's pretty, so I like watching the animation attacks and stuff. It does get a little repetitive, especially the dungeons can be pretty long.
Yeah, and you run across the same enemies many times. And some of them have very long animations on their attacks, and eventually it's just like, please, hurry the fuck up. Oh, you're going to do your little bomb strike, and then you got to wind it up, and then you got to throw it, and then you got to count to 3 before it explodes, and then you got to wait a second, and like, I just want to get through this fucking thing, man.
So after we beat the Elder Miss Bare Butt Balls and Back, he says, you guys are Solstice Warriors now, and also gives us some superpowers where we can change the time of day whenever we want. That will come in handy when we do some puzzles. There will be quite a bit of it later, so get ready for that. He also gives us some prophecies, gives each person a little prophecy, kind of like the what's the name of the lady in the Matrix? The Oracle in the Matrix does. He said, he tells Zale, in order to find your light and achieve your full potential, you need to stare at the night inside of you.
I actually really love these 3 prophecies because they do not feel equal.
No. He tells Valerie that he sees great potential in her and that she might one day be the one to create paths on water.
So for Valerie, it's like you might get a traversal mechanic, and for Zale, it's like you're the hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I read her name as Valere.
I did. I got made fun of.
One of you got made fun of for
Definitely
pronouncing
Valerie.
it that way, right? Yeah. Jim, I'm with you. It's Valere. The other 2 are crazy.
He tells Garl that
Valerie.
he gives Garl permission to accompany them as a travel companion, but tells him to be mindful of his limits when in combat. He also says that there's something interesting in the stars about Garl and thinks that he might have a heart warm enough to soothe a long tormented soul. Yeah.
Ooh. Secret hero of the game, my special boy Garl. I've heard he's an adult, so it's okay for me to call him my special boy.
Okay. Now we have to go to Extol's Landing.
Still problematic
Yeah,
age gap.
world,
That's 25 years.
No laws in fantasy world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not against the law.
Landing. This is a pretty straightforward. A lot of these, like, I feel like there are like intermediary dungeons in this game where you go to like story area, and then in between each story area, there's like some like landscape dungeons that you have to go through. This is one of those like landscape dungeons. There's some treasures to grab here. There's a Solstice Mage Ring that will allow you to get some MP back whenever you time a block correctly. You also find your first rainbow conch here. You guys going out of your way to collect these rainbow conches?
Yeah,
I am,
I got a
though
ton.
I don't know why.
Well, there's one joke about it being like, what do you think those
I don't
rainbow
know that there's a lot of like
do?
meta RPG talk in this game, and I feel like it kind of waters the narrative down a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's one character. We'll get to her. But it felt like... Do you ever play any of the translations by Working Designs back in the day where it's like full of Bill Clinton jokes and like RPG meta humor that didn't really work? There's one section of this game which is very Working Designs, and I didn't like it.
Like a... I won't say generic, but an RPG that's like very dependent on RPG cliches, you don't have the right to make fun of it. Like if you're utilizing them, you don't. It feels kind of dumb to be like, oh, aren't these cliches so silly? Like your game's full of them. Don't like it. Next up, there's another kind of environmental landscape dungeon, I'll call it, called the Moorlands, where there's some more treasure. This is the one where you start to see those green pedestals that you can't interact with, those green crystal pedestals you can't really do anything with yet. And at the end of it... Oh, sorry, Matt, go ahead.
You kind of skipped over something there, which is that after we speak with the Elder Mist, he meets us at this great stone statue.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't remember at what part that was.
With a little platform on it. And the gang gathers up on the platform, and the Elder Mist is telling us, like, here's the word you need to speak to activate it, and if you ever want to come back here, here's the word you need to speak. And as he's saying that, I want to say it's Garl, is like, oh, this word, what an interesting word. And then the statue comes to life, slams a little cockpit on top of you, and picks you up and throws you across the planet. And it's pretty fucking great, actually.
It's pretty awesome. One of my favorite things about this game is that it introduces a lot of things like that, where they're like things that you'll encounter that are so huge they don't even fit on the screen. And I think that's really neat.
Ah, I like it too.
Yeah.
So we've defeated the Mr. Mist.
Yeah. No, we're doing the Moorlands, and at the end of it, we meet our next not a party character, but our next like traveling companion. It's Teeks.
Teeks.
Which is I don't know if you're aware of this, Skeet backwards, which reminds me of Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet Skeet.
Skeet Skeet. So she is a historian, and basically they have this diary, and if it's like a magic diary, and if they find things, it fills out the pages of the diary. But something happened.
Yeah, she has a grimoire, which I guess is like a pretty rare thing, and grimoires get filled in when they're introduced to artifacts.
I found 2 so far. I feel like I've missed one or 2
3.
already.
I found 2.
Okay. Well, I know Vanessa is as thorough as I am at scouring places.
I'm a world-class scourer.
Did you find the hidden market in that town?
I sure did. Scoured it out.
We'll get there. Did you guys? Were you guys able to buy anything?
No.
Oh, then you missed an item.
I was. Oh yeah, I got that item too.
I didn't get it.
Oh, you missed it. You got to go back to the mines.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, because you have to, there's like one room where, and it's kind of in the middle of the mine. So
yeah, there's a relic you have to find. We'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so Teeks is like, hey, let me come with you, and I'll take any artifacts that you find, and when you go to a campsite to rest, I can tell you some fun stories. And she already has a story she can tell us right here. It's about the Vespertine.
The what now?
The Vespertine, it's a ghost ship.
Ooh.
Yeah, we love a ghost ship.
A lot of ghost ships.
Do.
And we see the ghost ship even, but that's in a little bit.
Yeah, there's a Vespertine gets a lot of lip service in this game. Even in this chunker it does. So after Teeks, we run into our first solstice shrine puzzle, where we have to change the time of day to light up like 2 different glyphs before the time runs out. And once we do that, we get a new ability. It's called Solar Rain. This is one of the more useful abilities early in the game, I think, because it's one of the few, besides like the Moonerang, which can hit every enemy, and the Sun Ball can hit enemies if they're close to one another, but this one hits every enemy. and always does quite a bit of damage. So if you're ever frustrated in battle and you've got some ability points, those combo points, use Solar Rain because it does come in.
And
handy.
that one's got the charge the ball till 4 mechanic,
Yeah, which
so it
is
doesn't
very
require
easy.
Yeah, so
time.
it's easy. That
Really
Moonerang is damn near impossible to pull
I
off.
love the Moonerang. I've
I
gotten.
can get like 20 hits on the Moonerang.
If you
most
get
of the
up to
time.
25, you get a Chivo.
I don't get Chivos. I'm playing on Switch.
Oh, sad. Let's see. So
But I like the Switch.
So now we get to go to Stonemason's Outpost, which is on a mountain that is inhabited by some mole people.
Oh, they're great. They're so chubby.
Aw,
wubby.
I love the mole people. It's like if my friend Teddy was an anthropomorphic mole.
Aw.
So this is. I'll give a little bit of lore background here. The Stonemason's Outpost is on a mountain that is famous for the sound that the wind makes as it blows through the mines of the mountain, and the sound that the wind makes is what keeps the Sleeper, the giant dragon that's wrapped around the mountain, eternally asleep. If this sound were to stop, the fear is that the Sleeper would awake and wreak havoc on the world.
He's just a sleepy guy.
The sleepy,
Yeah, he's
sleepy
a sleepy
snake boy.
guy. But apparently the magic of the song, if you read the whole Relic article about it, or the story that the girl can tell you,
Yeah.
that Teeks can tell you, that it will fade away eventually. It's not gonna last forever.
That's the fear anyway. Is that they think the lullaby will eventually lose its effect. But when we get to the Stonemason's Outpost, all the moles are freaking out because there's an evil wizard in the mines that is creating monsters that are clogging up the wind tunnels, and they're worried that the Sleeper is going to wake up. So they're all very scared.
I love the behavior of the mole townspeople because they're so freaking out. They're freaking out, and then you say, well, we're solstice warriors. They're like, are you going to help? You're going to help? And we're like, well, I guess we can help. And they're like, yay! And then they just go back to normal. And when you talk to the elder, he's like, the same thing happened to him. They're all freaking out until he went down there. And then they all said, yay, because they said he was going to go down there. And he's afraid to go back up because he doesn't want to disappoint them.
Yeah. I really liked this mine dungeon. I thought it was really fun. So there's a couple things that you really want to make sure you get in the mines. One is not missable. The other one is what I was talking about earlier, Vanessa, which is the Trader's Signet, which is what allows you to access the hidden market in
Wow,
Brisk.
I can't believe I missed that.
Where's it hidden?
It's in the
In
mine.
the first floor,
No, where's
like the
hidden market hidden? I
Oh.
guess we're not there yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
How am I ever even going to get back to the mines? Wow.
I don't think you can right now because you're stuck on Wraith Island.
That's right.
This mine was pretty fun. I saw all these paths of pushable pillars, and I was like, oh boy, I'm going to have to go back and push all these pillars. But you know what? I like the slidey puzzles. I like a good slidey puzzle.
Yeah, me too.
So I didn't mind. This reminded me a lot. This mechanic and then like some of the other puzzle mechanics, like the grappling hook, remind me a lot of Golden Sun, like the traversal stuff in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's
haven't played that.
some real Secret of Mana vibes in these two, being like the whip thing, pulling yourself to other platforms that we'll get to later. That felt very Secret of Mana.
I liked. I found some
Is there
like a
grappling
rainbow
hook in
conch.
Secret of Mana?
There's a whip.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
you can
there
use
is.
that to whip across.
You
yeah.
get the whip in the forest
that's
area when you're
right.
going to fight the witch.
I thought
And I
of it
like
as
that you
a
can use-
hook shot. It's a real hook shot.
You can use the grappling hook to hook onto enemies, which it tells you. But then it reminds you later, but right away, right after you get the grappling hook, there's an area where you can grapple onto an enemy and get like a rainbow conch. And I was like, yeah, I'm smart.
Speaking of those rainbow conches, I feel like this game is doing a lot of setting up for stuff that's going to happen later, super early in this game, and I'm
Table
getting
setting?
annoyed by it. It's
Yeah,
too
Matt
much.
wants to have. He's tired of the table setting. He wants to have dinner.
Yeah, the rainbow conches, I guess, fine. Like, it's something that we're going to collect, and eventually we'll figure out what it is. But the two other things that are annoying me are, well, I guess they're tied together. The lock system. You're starting to get locks that you can't break, and that aggravates me because
that is irritating.
Like, just
Why can't you break them?
because
You don't have
there are
the
things
right
that you
abilities
can't.
yet.
Yeah, you don't have the right abilities. There's like a green skull. You don't have that. You also often
Well, you
get,
do by the end.
yes.
Yes,
you don't
but
know
why
that.
don't you
At the end.
get them before you have the abilities.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Garl's ability also kind of aggravates me, right? He's got that hurl ability, and the details on it say that it will unlock or it'll unveil a lock. What's that mean?
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Well,
either.
basically,
You know,
if you have one that once you've unlocked it and you see what open, like if you've used that ability, it unlocks it forever. If they like, there's a couple of different, I think, like patterns, but no matter what, if you unlock it, you'll see it. So it'll unlock it permanently. If you throw an enemy that's in lock mode at another enemy, you'll get one of those locks broken. And I think the thief has it too, and it'll also delay them a turn, which is useful.
One thing that I was really worried about when I was using Garl's thing, because you select hurl and then you have to select an enemy, but I was like, am I selecting the enemy that I'm going to throw, or the enemy that's going to receive the throw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I did it a couple of times. I didn't pay attention, and then I went to do it again. I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to use Garl's abilities because they're mostly trash.
Well, the healing thing is helpful if you need
Yeah,
it.
but he has a really
The
powerful
nourish,
heal.
yeah.
So the thing is, and I'll test it out again. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that I had hurled an enemy that had a lock, and that it didn't do anything.
Well, it worked for me, but yeah, I had to make sure I was throwing the person with the lock and not throwing at the person with the lock.
I don't like the locks. I think that they're too long. You know, like there'll be 4 little chunks and the guy's gonna do it in 3 moves. I guess some moves have like double.
Yeah,
things,
you can
so they
add
could
like double
unlock 2 of
magic.
them.
Like the Necromancer had an 8 lock chunk, and that was like, oh god. But you do have some moves that can delay her a turn, which gives you a bit more time.
Oh, I never thought about doing that.
Yeah.
Seems like too much. You're asking
Oh,
too
you
much
gotta
of me,
use your
game.
pro strats if you're.
I don't
if you're-
gotta. I can just play
Yeah,
it.
you're right.
I agree with Vanessa, and I just like, I don't think it's a bad system, but it feels like something that should be like specific to bosses and mini bosses, and not every goddamn fight you get into.
Yeah, I feel like it was
Real
a
fucking
little
tired of it.
more fine-tuned. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's not quite dialed in the way it should be. So the boss fight here, we're told that the evil wizard, his name is Malcolmud, and did you guys think it's Malcolmud or Malcolmud?
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
I already said Malcolm Mood.
I said
That's how I
Malcolmud.
said it, but I don't know.
Okay,
Malcolm Mood.
Malcolmud.
First
yeah.
name Malcolm, last name Mood.
Malcolm Mood.
Malcolmud is a little Malcolmud in the middle is a little mole man little mole boy who
Yeah, just a little kid.
was born with magic powers, and he has a giant salamander as like his best friend.
I was hoping you'd join the party.
I know,
'cause
me too.
We need a Malcolm Mood. He's a cute. He just needs friend. He just wants friends.
He's
Yeah.
an amazing little guy.
He's been shunned by the villagers for not being able to control his wind magic very well. And they've
Just like
exiled him
Matt,
to the
am I
mines.
right?
I
think
Malcolm Matt.
I think it's Earth magic though.
Is it earth magic? I thought it was wind
Yeah.
magic. Oh wait,
I thought it was-
Keenathan is the wind mage, right?
Yeah.
So then we gotta fight Malcolmud. At the beginning of the fight, it's like him and the salamander separately. And you just gotta remember, Malcolmud is weak to sun, salamander is weak to moon. And then when you get him down to enough health, he jumps on the salamander's back, and you gotta fight him a little bit more.
There is some
like to think of
fun
it as
animation
fighting him.
here.
What do you think of it as?
Just playing with him.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Like, I like the little bug.
beating his pet up, which is...
I like the little bugs that are blocking the wind tunnel. That was really fun. And then I really like doing those slidey block. Vanessa, what do you think of those slidey block puzzles?
I thought they were okay.
I like the ones where you have to like block a space with another block. That was my favorite ones. You
Yeah,
have to use two blocks.
They can be fun. They can be interesting. I guess with my general thing with puzzles like this is that I don't like over-reliance on them, and I feel like there's just a little bit too much of it. They are difficult, but it's, anything where it's like forcing a mechanic on you that isn't the core of the game, I've taken a stance against before, and I feel like I have to ethically maintain that stance, even though I do like puzzles, and am happy to do them. Does that make sense?
Yes. No.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention. I apologize. I guess that with hurl, if you use it early, you can hurl enemies closer to each other, which makes them easier to all hit more of them
That's
with
true.
the sunball. I didn't think about that. That's some good
Yeah.
strategy. I'm still not sure what the fuck that reveal lock thing does. It's driving me crazy.
One thing I liked about this, Garl is so kind to Malcolmoon. He's like, hey, it's not your fault, little buddy. And, I'm really sorry that happened to you.
It's kind of weird because Zale and Valerie kind of seem like dicks every time they have to
Yeah.
interact with people.
They're
which
ready
they
to
do
fucking
kind
kill
of-
this kid.
They do kind of explain it with, like, they've been locked in a tower for 10 years, so they have no social skills, which I get.
Yeah, and they've
but
been told like they're the specialist, most important people in the village.
Yeah.
Their whole lives.
But they're kind of
So-
sociopaths, and Garl's
Yeah.
like their conscience. He's their Jimminy Cricket. Which,
It's
again,
true.
I said this last week, makes Garl the best character in the game.
Yeah. He's the secret hero of the game. That's my prediction.
They're the Jedi, and he's the Princess Leia.
Is that Princess Leia's role in Star Wars?
Absolutely. The hero
Oh,
of the
okay.
game.
Oh, the hero of the game. I thought you meant like the conscience of the main characters.
Well, sort of.
Yeah, I'll buy that. So Malcolm says that he's not going to clog the tunnels anymore, so we don't have to worry about the sleeper waking up. So we can go.
He does
back
have a
to
cool fort. I like his fort. I
Yeah,
wish I
he's
had
a
a
cool
fort
fort.
like that.
We can go back to the stonemasons outpost and do some favors for the villagers if we want. We can also go back to the moorlands and do those couple puzzles that are back there.
I did go to the painter guy because he had one of those rocks that was hiding a conch chest in his room.
Yeah.
So I did move that. And then I did Did you all turn on the heat for that mole lady that just wanted to soak in the tub? That
wanted
was
to take a
really
Yes,
bath? Yeah.
absolutely.
You can go back to like I said, you can go back to the moorlands and get like 3 more conch shells, I think, if you want to do those green pedestal puzzles.
At this point, we don't know what they're for, so it's like, who cares?
Oh, I'm sure I'll be able to go back there eventually. So I'll just
Yeah,
do it
you
then.
will.
You definitely
it's
can.
Fine. It's fine. So next, we go to the Coral Cascades, which is another landscape dungeon where we get to swim in some water and go under some waterfalls, and there's some nice, sexy little beaches around.
Did you find the solstice temple there for the extra move?
Which move do you get? Which move is that?
It was one with Garl and Girl. Valaire and Garl.
Oh, really?
I don't think I got that one.
You get the one with Garl and Zale somewhere. That one's fucking overpowered.
That's the
Yeah,
solar
the one with
yeah.
her and him is
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to remember what
yes.
it does.
He hurls her, and she does damage.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
it
don't
hits pretty
think
hard.
I got that one.
That one hits pretty hard. I like that one.
It's that one's kind of hidden. I like that the a lot of those things are kind of hidden off in corners and stuff. So I liked exploring. It makes the worlds at least more interesting to
Yes,
explore
I
because they
agree with that
usually put
100%.
things in the weird corners.
And you'll
I
see like
that.
treasure chests will be tucked into corners and like under things with just a corner poking out.
Burp.
Let's see. Oh, it's time to go to Brisk. Brisk is like
We're
the
going
first.
to a Brisk?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brisk. Is
Oh
like
yeah,
the first,
Brisk.
It's like the first big town in the game.
Yeah.
Vanessa, I thought this was going to be a puzzle because there's a sign that says boat ship, boat ship, boat ship, boat ship, Brisk, and I thought that was going to be like a clue to a puzzle you have to solve, but I don't think it is.
No, I know.
There's a
I
lot
think
of-
it's just kind of saying boat this way.
There's a lot of fun treasure chests tucked around this town that you can go hunt down. And the secret shop, obviously, which is under the dock. Swim up under there. Though I will say, I'm not loving that the shops have just kind of very little to care about. Like, maybe you can upgrade your weapons, and they sell foodstuffs, and sometimes
Well, yeah, the food, well, especially if you are playing at a higher difficulty level, like I ran out of food. So I definitely... Yeah.
I know, Johnny. I know. I definitely had some real tough situations when I played this game on normal, and where I really needed food. And I was those little picnic baskets you can find in the dungeons that give you a little food items. Like I was desperate for those things. It's a lot more fun on easy mode. I have a lot of food. I never use it.
I think it's worth it if you're playing on normal mode to splurge for the recipes because a lot of the recipes that are sold in the stores are usually pretty powerful.
Feels like the type of game that's going to give you just enough money to buy everything. You know what I mean? Maybe later it'll change, but early on, like you don't have a lot of money, and maybe you have just enough to get
all those ores and stuff you find. I was like, oh, is there going to be a whole crafting thing for this? But I looked at the description. It said it's okay to sell them.
Yeah.
So I sell all those, and that's how I got enough money to buy lots of stuff.
I
You don't get a
remember
lot
any
of
crafting
money.
stuff.
You don't get a lot of money from the battles. You kind of have to get those things and sell them in order to buy all the stuff you want to buy. One thing we haven't. Speaking of recipes, one thing that I don't think we talked about last time.
Recipe?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The fishing mini game.
I found a secret
mentioned it, but
fishing
didn't
spot.
talk about it.
I wonder if Vanessa found this.
Where'd you find a secret fishing spot?
Is it the creek in the later town?
No.
I don't
And
know
they're
if
like
I found a secret fishing spot.
It's a. Let me give you a hint, Vanessa. It's a purple fishing spot
How's that a hint?
because it's the way to get there is to make the color purple.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
in
found-
Oh.
Yeah. I think
Is
that if
in
you
the
didn't try,
Abandoned
that's in
Wizards
the.
Lab?
Yeah, I think if you didn't
Yeah,
try
yeah.
all the colors there, you're crazy. Like, why
yeah,
would
I
you
did
not?
all the colors. Every color combination. I did red by itself, which, I think is not necessarily intuitive to do.
I think
I
purple's
did
the
'em
only
all.
one that isn't like required to do to move the dungeon along. Well, we're skipping ahead. Let's
Yeah. One thing that I had to remind myself of when I got here was, why am I going to Brisk? Because the game hasn't really talked about it very much. We're looking for a boat. We need a boat to get us to the island where the dweller is. So we go to Brisk looking for a boat. We go to the docks and we find this group of pirates. And we're like, oh, these are pirates. They probably have a boat. Let's see
They're
if we
standing
can't
right
hitch a
next
ride.
to this amazing looking boat.
Standing right next to a great boat. This is the introduction of these pirates is where the game gets a little too meta for me.
Ooh, I hated this. Hated it.
Yeah,
I hate how
it
they
wasn't
each have
good.
their own special little animation, except for the one, which is delightful.
The captain's
Yeah,
name
there's
is
one
Captain
really good one.
The captain's name is Captain Cliche.
Oh, I didn't put that together. I was just
Yeah.
like, cliche.
Wow.
Captain Cliche. There's Yolanda,
Yeah.
who's the first mate.
Who's fucking
Yolanda's the
annoying.
one who really working designs it all over the place, like smears
Yeah.
working designs writing.
It's
Yeah.
funny
Like,
because it's like if you had done like one thing, like one reference, I would have been like, ha, and instead there's like 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's Captain Cliche. There's like we said, Yolanda, who's the first mate. There's Keenathan, which we've established is a really stupid name. I was reading the Sea of Stars
Obvious
wiki
Vanessa
entry.
boyfriend.
on Keenathan, and I guess Keenathan, the writer-developers of the game said that they thought it would be funny to have a character in the game who had a really stupid name but wouldn't stop saying it. Which, like, I don't, that just doesn't work for me.
That's a good joke. I think that's a way better, Keenathan's a better joke than Captain Cliche.
Keenathan itself isn't funny, it's just not a good name.
I know, but I got that. They also, I guess this is later in the next town, but they do a my brother and me reference.
Oh, really?
I liked that. Yeah, because they say unless, and then someone else goes
that's right.
Unless.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is also in
I like that.
which
I like
is
that.
also in Hamilton. Which is also my brother in the reference in the Hamilton.
That's why I think it shouldn't be used again. I mean, if someone's already taken that reference and put it in, like, one of the most popular Broadway musicals of all time, are you really then going to be like, I'm going to put the same Easter egg in my little indie game? There's so many brother and me things.
Unless.
Also,
You know
according
what's great about
to
that
Gen
bit
Z,
is that it's a good bit. Like, I always laugh when they do it. It makes me laugh.
Well, especially how at some points the brothers seem really annoyed that they've been unlessed.
I love it when they get annoyed with each other.
also another thing, according to Gen Z, Lin-Manuel Miranda is cringe now. So
I don't give a shit about what you
That's
say.
just because he's sincere, and they can't handle sincerity.
All right, let's talk
What?
about.
They're the sincerest.
Let's talk about this introduction. First of all, Keenathan, his whole deal is that he can't do magic with his eyes open, so he wears two
eye patches.
Two eye patches.
Which I like this. I like the double eye
And
patches.
the story behind that is he was wearing a pirate outfit as a kid and then put on another pirate outfit, and that's how he learned he had wind magic.
I thought that was really funny. Yeah, he discovered his powers when he put a pirate outfit on top of a pirate outfit he was already wearing. That was
All these characters,
pretty funny.
All these characters have their own little special animation, and Keenathan's is that he lifts his eye patches up like they're sunglasses that he's putting on top of his head.
Yeah.
And winks. And winks.
Yeah,
And winks.
And then
Yolanda's is that she like does a. I don't even know how to describe it.
It's
I don't
like a
it.
jester stand.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. She does
And-
like this kind of thing.
We don't have to talk
and then
about the
there's-
last one because the last one's the best one, and we're going to talk about it when we get to that arm wrestling contest. But
We'll introduce him. His name is Valtrade.
Valtrade, that's right. So
I had to
Yolanda's
take
the first
Valtray
one-
for like a year after getting. Never mind.
Yolanda's the one that she does most of the talking, and most of what she says is just references to other games. And it's annoying and not funny.
Yeah, it's just a little too working designs. That's all I'm saying. Although I did laugh at the one of we got captured by Imperial Guards because they attacked us during a cutscene.
I didn't get that one.
I hate that.
Because you can always defeat guards except in cutscenes where they will arrest you and you don't have any power to defeat them.
Yeah. She mentions going on a quest to find like a healing item for a village, and then getting there and finding that the village is burned down.
Mm-hmm.
What's that reference?
Mentions being knocked down to 1 HP by a boss, but then being left alive for next time.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It really does.
I don't know about the village being burnt down reference. I was trying to think of what that could be. Is that in Witcher? The Witcher 3? Does that happen?
I never finished Witcher 3
Me either.
because I hate Geralt.
Me
Well,
too.
it turns 10 years old next year, so I don't think I'm ready for Final Fantasy 15 to be 10 years old.
Oh,
like,
wow.
it's coming up pretty fast, and
Ooh,
that's too
yeah.
soon. It's too soon.
Ooh, I was thinking about it the
Yeah.
other day, actually. I think Final Fantasy 15 would be fun to do on the show.
Yeah, no, it's true. I definitely I will hold off on playing it because I think it'd be great to play on the show. Although we have to play 13 first.
I like
Yeah.
that they
Why?
And all its no,
Why?
not all
We
its
haven't done these in order. We started with 9.
because
We
I
didn't have
want
play
to,
13
Matt.
first.
Because
And
I
13
want to.
Part 2 and 13 Part 3.
I'm
No.
going to put
Lightning
15 up for a
Returns.
vote then, because I disagree, and I'm not playing by these rules
like-
because I don't want to play 13. That game sucks.
I like that they've patched 15 up to the point where like if you want, you can just put on armor that will make you invulnerable to everything, and then play the whole game.
I've got a question for you, Jim. So all these items that like, are these? You can buy items that like make the game easier. Is that just like extra difficulty options? These
Some
aren't
of them
like
are.
relics.
It's basically like an easy mode. It's
okay.
No.
like
Some of them are a hard mode.
Yeah, some of them are hard mode.
Yeah. There are ones that make it harder, but like the ones that they added in the update are all kind of easy. They're basically easy mode toggles.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I was like, I'm not gonna get those. If there was one that made timing easier,
There is.
Like, I don't want it to be automatic.
There's one that makes it not quite automatic, but it like increases the likelihood by a huge margin, I think.
Ooh,
Increases the timing
I think I might put that one on.
range.
The timing window, yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, just because my thumbsies, my little thumbsies are not good.
That's called
at
arthritis.
doing things.
Because you're old.
No, I don't have arthritis. My hands are limber and ready.
I don't know how this proves you don't have
he's-
arthritis.
Look at him wiggling his fingers and his eyebrows at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And chewing gum.
John, can you raise one eyebrow? Ooh,
Oh, he can very well. I can't really do that.
I can do it too.
No, I can't.
You're trying.
I'm trying, but both eyebrows are going up and down.
So these pirates tell us, we'll strike a deal with you. Meet us at the Humble Boast, which is the local tavern, and we'll talk about a bargain. It took me like a half an hour to find this stupid fucking bar.
Yeah,
Seriously?
it's a big town.
Yeah.
They do say just
It's not a
follow the
half hour
docks,
big.
and then there's a big sign with a beer mug and an arrow
Yeah.
pointing at the door.
Missed it.
That really
Missed
gave
it.
it away. So I really so this whole thing is like, hey, there's a favor you can do. Either if you lose this arm wrestling tournament with us, there's a little favor you can do, because they agreed to do it, but they'll do it for free if we lose the arm wrestling tournament, or if they lose. Yeah, but I thought that the favor they were doing was the end of the chunker, because they're talking about like an undead coin and everything. I was like, oh, that's got to be the necromancer, to the point where I Googled it. I was like, necromancer boss fight. Did I just defeat the necromancer and didn't realize it? The answer is no.
Nope. This is where we get Matt's favorite animation of the game. So Garl's like, I'll be the person to do this arm wrestling match. And so he goes to arm wrestle Valtrade, and Valtrade decides to do his special ability, which is what, Matt?
He rips his shirt off and reveals that he is fucking jacked.
He's actually wearing a magic shirt.
He is
His
wearing a
shirt
magic
is
Magic
shirt,
shirt that makes him look like a skinny noodle arm, but he is not.
Is that... Do they say what the magic shirt
Oh.
does? Because the shirt also repairs itself, which I was
Yeah,
like,
I thought
maybe
the
that's
shirt
the
made him
magic.
look jacked.
Well,
I feel
but
like
he
the
doesn't
shirt,
look jacked.
like,
He
makes
looks
him-
noodle
I feel
arms
like the-
until he
I feel
takes
like
the
the
shirt
sh-
off.
I feel like the shirt, like, ripping it is activating it, and then it turns him into the Hulk, and then when he's done, it puts itself back together.
I
thought
think
that
he's always hulked, but his shirt makes him look like Bruce Banner size. And frankly, I think this is pretty ideal because, like, when you're out in public, you don't want to be, like, all flashy, drawing too much attention to your man. You just want a nice guy who you can go to dinner and a movie with and have a good time and hold hands by the waterfront. But when you get him home and you get him out of that shirt, you're going to want to see some Keenaning.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the time of the month.
Valtrading.
Keenathan. Oh, yeah, his name isn't Keenathan, it's Valtrade. It's Valtrex.
It's a fun little fucking pixel animation where he rips his shirt off and then he like flexes at the
his
camera
biceps
and like
his
winks.
pecs, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
he do his biceps and his pecs?
Yeah.
And then he winks.
And then he does fucking
Ooh, look
destroy
at John.
Garl.
John's got peck motion. Look at that.
He does
Amazing.
Flex my
he does
pecs.
defeat Garl in the arm wrestling contest and So now we have to go and get this fucking coin from the, what is it? I don't even remember what it's called.
The not actually necromancer, not
No, it's at the abandoned wizard's laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
Not abandoned.
Oh yeah,
the
boss
wizard
is
isn't abandoned. The laboratory is. It's
I really like the
abandoned
name of the boss.
laboratory of the wizard.
The name of the boss is Chromatic Aberration.
Yeah,
that made me laugh.
Why?
Because it's like a pun on chromatic aberration.
So we will
like light splitting.
We'll get to this in a minute, but this tavern is also our introduction to the game's version. What's the Final Fantasy VIII card game? It's the game of the game. It's the game of the game.
Wheels.
Triple Triad?
Wheels.
Eight?
Yeah, Triple
Shit
Triad.
sucks.
This is Wheels. I love Wheels. I didn't understand how to
tried
play it my
Wheels.
first playthrough. I understand it now, and I love it.
Definitely, I looked at that instructions, and I was like, I'm not retaining anything from this. So I tried playing it, and when you see the board laid out and all the graphs and wheels and things, I was like, oh, no.
I did it I did it once and I won, and I did it again and I lost, and I was
Jim,
like, all right, I'm gonna try this again.
We'll save it for the end.
Oh yeah. John's corner. We haven't done a John's bullshit minigame corner in a minute.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll get there. So they're like, all right, you need to go to this abandoned wizard's lab. We'll help you get in. So you take Keenathan and Yolanda and Valtrade with you, and they're like, we'll help you get in.
But you also get, before you go, let me interject here. You do get Captain Cliché's special little animation, which is once everybody wanders off screen and she's alone, she's got a hook for a hand, and she pops the hook off, and she's got a hand, and like a real hand, and shakes it out like it's asleep or something.
How do you guys see Valaire's name and say Valerie, but see Cliché's name and not know it's Cliché? What do you think your name was? Cleach?
I was reading over
Cleacha?
it. Like, it was, there were so many apostrophes in there. I was like, I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah, I also just stopped at Captain.
So we go to the laboratory. We get, I don't remember how, I remember Valtrade using his muscles to keep the door open, but I don't remember what Keenathan's doing. He's doing some kind of magic thing.
Keenathan...
He does magic to open the door.
Barrier or something, and then Yolanda blows it up.
Oh, yeah, she's like a demolitions expert.
Yeah.
I forgot what Yolanda's superpower was.
Maybe Keenathan is the one who like gets it open a little bit, and then
I think he says he's like, I opened it like a little crack, and then Valtrade uses his muscles to lift it open.
Yeah.
And she stuffs a bomb underneath it and blows it open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, my YouTube music #1 played song just came up on my Spotify.
Oh, that's exciting.
Thanks, George Harrison. Okay, so we get to do this abandoned wizard's laboratory dungeon now. This is the one that you guys alluded to earlier with the multicolored crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah? Tell me more about it.
Well, it starts with a green one, and you press the green one, and there's a little transport over to Greenland, and then you gotta like solve some green puzzles to get another piece. And then you can start doing colors on their own or mixing colors to basically you have to enable the light of the pedestal and then enable the prism, and then you can swap prisms in and out and do different light combinations, and there's a secret fishing pond.
Yeah, so there's 3 pedestals and there are 3 colored gems, and you start with one, so you go to the green one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the red gem, and you go to the whatever that mix
Vanessa's
is.
holding her cat hostage. The cat does not want to be snuggled and held.
Anyway, each of them takes you to a different little room by opening a portal, and there is one, I guess, kind of secret one, which is that you combine the blue and the red, and that takes you to purple, and purple has a secret little fishing mini game, and whatever. It's not that amazing. It's fine.
Yeah, they're all undead fish, though. I laughed. Undead fish, Matt. Undead fish. And there's one where you have to like complete a certain amount of combat challenges to unlock it. And I don't remember the other. There's like some that were about platforming and falling through the right holes.
Yeah, I like the like unlocked pathways that you get from jumping off of like a second floor platform to the first floor platform. I think those are fun.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, as involved as these dungeons are, which I mean involved in the sense of like you're collecting things to add to other things and opening up new pathways, I feel like they're kind of a breeze.
Yeah.
They go by pretty quick.
You're not... none of these so far, at least, have like required me to be like, ugh, let me get a guide. Like, there's always a path forward.
Yeah.
Matt, I was... for the video about Simpsons Hit and Run, I was capturing some footage of the Lego games, like Lego Star Wars and Lego Batman. Lego Batman 3, the initial area has like a puzzle you're supposed to solve, I guess. The initial area of a game for babies, I couldn't figure it out. I was stuck there for like 20 minutes. I was like, you know what? I could either Google this or stop capturing.
Is that one capturing. Are you in like a theater and there's like a stage?
It's where you're in the sewers pursuing Croc, and Robin has like a hazmat suit and can suck up certain colors of Lego bricks.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
I don't like those Lego games, so I'm not the person to, because every one of those I've played, I legitimately Batman, Avengers, Star Wars. I always run across something in those games where I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Isn't there a Lord of the Rings one too?
Yeah,
there is.
I like the Lord of the Rings one.
I enjoyed the last one that came out, the Skywalker Saga, episode 1 through 9. I played quite a bit of that. Well, not quite a bit, but like, a couple hours of episode 1. I was having fun. It kind of makes me nostalgic for how shitty that terrible movie is.
I mean, I've watched those many times because my son loves them, and he made me watch. I don't remember what the occasion was, but one day we were just kind of, what do you want to watch? Let's watch something. And he picked Revenge of the Sith, and I was like, fuck. And we watched it.
Why would you pick the third one?
We watched it, and the whole time I was like, this is so fucking...
that's the one I almost walked out of. But I couldn't. It was so bad.
It was so
I
bad.
think that... I've said it before that I think that it's the worst of the prequels.
It definitely is the worst of the prequels.
Matt and I agree on that.
Listen, it turns out that the third one is the worst one of all of them. Okay, I mean, I don't hate Return of the Jedi, but it's the worst of the three. And Revenge of the Sith is hot garbage. And Rise of the Skywalkers, I have only watched once in theaters and could not. You couldn't pay me to watch it again. It was so bad.
I saw it twice because I took my mom to see it.
That's fair. Okay. They're bad. They always go bad on the 3. And the second one is often the best, though for the prequels, I would say the first one is the best, even though it's terrible. It's got the best scenes. It's got the best music.
Know. I like Return of the Jedi. When I was a kid,
I
that
do
was my
too.
favorite one.
Yeah,
I really liked... Well, no, I'd say I still liked... I really liked Bespin. I think that's why the second one's my favorite. Mm-hmm. And like Cranky Yoda.
But Empire's got that reveal, and like I get if you knew it ahead of time just through like cultural osmosis, it wouldn't be as impactful. But for me, like that, I'm not your father, you're my father. That shit just hit so hard, I can't believe it. And also the Hoth stuff is so good. And that's
I'm pretty proud of that, Matt. I spent a long time coming up with that.
Get in the
Spent
closet.
a long time coming up with that.
The relationship between Leia and Han in Empire Strikes Back is so fucking good. That's when it gets good, because it's not good.
I'm more interested in the relationship between Luke and Leia, because they are hot for each other in that.
Yeah,
first
they
movie.
do make out at the beginning of the second one.
Yep.
There's, I also think...
Which is weird, because that's the one where they reveal their brother and sister, right? So
Yes, yeah.
No,
Well, I mean,
the
they
third one,
sort
they
of...
reveal
They don't...
it.
Yeah, the third one they reveal it, but it's definitely implied that there's something going on
It's
there.
a galaxy far, far away. The rules, our rules don't apply there.
George,
Didn't... Was it George Lucas who suggested that? Oh no, one of the writers suggested in Back to the Future, but it wasn't George Lucas because he didn't write that. That the mom and Marty should like get it on.
Wasn't that Zemeckis?
Oh, was it Zemeckis? He
it might have
did
been Zemeckis.
definitely direct it.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, could have been
I know
Bobby
we've
Gale.
spun way out from Lego games, but I just want to say I don't really enjoy those games, and I think it's because I have a terrible habit of taking stories a little bit too seriously. So it's like
I feel the same way, Vanessa. Like, I like the Lord of the Rings one, but like, I feel like it's having a little too much fun with the story. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like it's a little too silly.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, I get this
I
is
did
like
like,
a pop culture phenomenon now, but someone put their heart and soul into making
Yeah,
that.
somebody please be sincere. Like, it's tiring experiencing an entire game, ironically.
Yeah.
What was
yeah,
the
yeah.
name of the guy from Whose Line Is It Anyways, who was one of the two-headed announcers in episode 1?
Ryan Stiles?
No,
No.
Colin.
Go Colin
No.
Mockery.
It wasn't him. It was Probst.
Oh,
Greg
Jeff
Probst.
Greg
He
Greg
wasn't
Probst.
Greg
Jeff
Probst.
Probst. It was Jeff Probst.
Jeff Probst from Survivor.
Yeah. Greg Probst.
Greg
Proops.
Probst. Yes.
Proops was one of the
Yes.
contestants on Whose Lines It Anyway. Colin was the host.
They were all
Drew Carey was the host, or
Drew
Clive
Carey was
Anderson.
the host, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wayne Brady hosted it for a minute too.
I don't believe that.
talking
Anyway,
about original
back to
Whose
Lego
Line?
games. Anyway,
No, back
Original
to
back
Sea of
to
Stars.
Sea of Stars.
Hosted by Clive Anderson.
I only
as
know
we all
American
know.
Whose Line.
What a fucking dork.
You're all dorks.
We're all dorks. So back to Sea of Stars. So we solve all these puzzles and go into the different light portals. We get some undead fishing going on, which is great. And then we fight the chromatic aberration, which is
Chromatic
a monster.
aberration. Chromatic
Yeah, aberration.
aberration is a photographic issue.
yeah,
saw what you did,
and it changes between a weak to magic mode and a weak to physical attacks mode. It's like
Yeah, it's just shape-shifty.
yeah,
I like this
a
boss fight.
totally
It's fun.
okay boss.
Yeah. I like the arena that you fight it in, which is like the psychedelic background kind of arena. That's fun.
I like Garl walking up to like the pile of rags that the boss inhabits, being like, "Hey, what's this?"
Oh, Garl. So this thing gives us the coin that we're looking for, which I put in here. It is called the Coin of Undead Accord.
Yeah.
Which we learn is a magic coin that can compel any undead thing to do whatever we want it to do.
And there's a surprising amount of these coins out in the world, so well, there's at least 2.
In this
Because
chunker?
Yeah,
No, there's only 1 in this chunker.
Stop spoiling stuff, Johnny. For fuck's
Did
sake.
Pretty
John?
sure there's
did
2.
John, no, I think John is actually unspoiled on a twist that we learn in this chunker. I don't think John picked up on it. All right, we'll get there, John. We'll get there, buddy.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So we get the Coin of Undead Accord. We go back and they're like, all right, we'll take you to your island. Get on our boat. And I love that the boat is just a shitty little raft.
Yeah, they're standing in front of this big, gorgeous pirate ship, and you're like, great, let's get on this boat. And they go, no. No. This raft is our boat.
And then you take a nice little raft trip to Wraith Island.
It's like Huck
you
Finn's.
see-
It's like Huck Finn's raft.
Yeah. You see the Vespertine. You see that cruising by. I will note
yeah.
you get a couple of cutaways to like Organization 13. And they're like, yes, everything's going according to plans.
I'm sorry. Huck Finn's raft?
Yeah, Huck Finn's raft.
Huckleberry
Not Tom
Finn?
Sawyer's raft.
Is it Tom Sawyer's?
Tom Sawyer's raft.
Yeah.
That's the
Huck
same.
Finn does not have a
Same
raft.
shit. Huckleberry. What does Huckleberry Finn do?
Those are 2 different books.
Well, he's
I mean,
in
Huckleberry
both of them.
Finn goes and hangs out with the Hatfields and McCoys for a while. Is what Huckleberry Finn does.
They were combined into one Disney movie with some early '90s or mid '90s heartthrobs. So
Nope, that was just Huckleberry Finn.
that was Huck and Finn.
But no, and
The
Tom
movie was
Sawyer,
called
Huckleberry
that is
Finn.
a Huck and
is
Finn
there.
movie. I forgot about that.
There is.
Well, yes, Tom Sawyer, Huck and Tom are characters in each other's books.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
don't know
there
what
are
you guys
movies
are
of each
talking
of them.
about. I'm just having so much fun doing the quest log. Man, I'm so lucky to do the quest log, and you guys must feel pretty sorry that you aren't doing
Well,
the quest log.
But if you're having so much
Vanessa
fun,
wants us to whitewash her fence.
yes, she does.
Oh,
That is what you were referencing, wasn't it?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you see the ghost ship, the Vespertine, and they're like, one day we're gonna get that ship. That's why we got this coin. This coin, we're gonna use it to take over that ship somehow, and it's gonna be ours. Look at that sweet, sweet ghost ship, and I love it because I love a ghost ship.
Actually,
We all love ghost ships here.
this is a really good plan. Like, you don't have to fight your way onto the ghost ship. If you get one of those coins of Undead Accord, you can just buy it, basically.
Yeah,
It's like the coins in John Wick.
yes,
It is
exactly.
like the coins in John Wick. This game inspired John Wick, I think.
Oh.
So we're on our way to this town, and this is a spooky town.
It is
Yeah.
a spooky town. I love the inn.
Everyone
Yeah,
well,
says this is spooky
I love
town
the,
because once you get to this island, you can't ever leave.
Yeah, they said nobody who's ever been to Wraith Island ever leaves. And when we get there, we learn that everyone there is trapped there, and that every so often someone gets like sirened into getting their soul sucked out.
That's how
by
Vanessa
the
meets
evil
boys.
Necromancer.
Hey, don't call Vanessa an evil necromancer just because she uses her siren's call to lure men to her lair who never return.
I didn't say
It's
necromancer.
also not. You did
I
say
said,
necromancer. It's
I
not the
didn't- no,
necromancer.
I didn't
It's
say
the dweller
necromancer.
of woe.
I didn't. Yeah, the Dweller of Woe, but I didn't say necromancer. I said necromancer.
Oh, that's true. Vanessa is a
Necromancer.
necromancer.
Oh my God, Jim! That's
Necromancer.
fantastic.
I'm on
I mean,
fire.
that's a book. Fucking
Necromancer.
romancer.
That's a vampire novel.
Yeah,
is.
I've never heard
exactly.
one.
Look, maybe I do
Or at
lure
least
men
a Saturday
here
Night
and
Live
they never
sketch.
leave.
Yeah.
But they don't want to leave. They're free to go anytime.
One thing. So my favorite part of this town. So when you go to the inn, like everyone's hanging out. You're like here for a couple days, and then you're hanging out, listening to the pirate band play. They're in a band, by the way. I don't know that we talked about that. They're
They
Yeah.
do. They specifically their Captain Cliche, which the fact that like you
woof.
exposing me to that has really knocked this whole game down a notch in my
Yeah,
estimation.
it's a big oofa doofa.
And again, I did just read over it. It's funny. It reminds me of I think I may have mentioned this before, but when I finally convinced my brother to read The Wheel of Time 20 years after I had read it and loved it so much. Some of the names in that book, he was just like, I can't. And one of them is a main character in the series called Nynaeve, and he read it and was just like, I can't. My brain can't wrap around that. And so he said, her name is Transformer now. And every time he read the name, he just supplanted Transformer. And we would have conversation. He'd be like, oh, that scene with Transformer was so good. Anyway, we get to this inn, and yes, they're in a band, and it's I don't want to say it's funny because it's not funny. It's just dumb that Captain Cliche wants them to bring cheer to all the places they come to.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they're merry pirates.
They're in like a ska band, and
Yeah.
they're playing "Sellout" by Real Big Fish.
Yep.
And then everyone starts skanking, and while everyone is skanking, you see someone light up in like purple. You hear like a scary sound, and then a person goes purple, and then mindlessly walks out of there to get their soul sucked out.
They walk up to the Dweller of Woe's like castle, I guess, or dungeon or whatever it is. We haven't been there yet.
My favorite part of this is that every other person in there is basically Tim Robinson from that sketch where he says their babysitter did a hit and run, where they see someone go out to get killed and he's like, oh yeah, this is fine. No one should be worried about it at all. They're like, bottom line is no one's going to get in trouble. The cops don't even follow up on it because the people are like already dead.
I did
Is
like
the name of this bar like the first stage because it's about denial.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't pick up on that. That's
I liked the innkeeper, I guess, when you first show up is like he's like, okay, well, welcome to the first day of the rest
he's
of
like
your
a
life.
fancy maitre d'
he's
too.
like a Vincent Price maitre d'.
I wouldn't
He's
say
like, oh,
Vincent
hello
Price,
there.
but-
You're like, oh no,
but
don't
I like
worry,
that
we're totally.
You're like we're the Solstice Warriors and we're here to take care of this fucking Dweller, so we won't be here long. And he's just like, sure, idiots, sure. You
And when you
fucking
announce your
morons.
plans to save the town, everyone's like, yes, this will definitely work.
Yeah,
love that.
This made me laugh a lot. Actually, I liked this whole interaction. It's very silly.
See, that's the
stupid.
sort of humor they should go for, where it's not fourth wall breaking. It's just, having fun with the characters and the
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the second chunker of what's clearly going to be a 10-chunker game, so maybe it'll be more
It
of that
won't
and
be
less
10
of
chunkers.
that. Or this
I
and less of
think
that.
like 6 at the most. So we see the first, they call it soul walking incident. Being the heroes that we are, we feel compelled to go try and save this person. So we decide to
Pretty dumb.
abscond to
Pretty
the
stupid
spooky
decision that we
woods.
make here. Actually, this really aggravated me.
Is it?
Like, yeah, you're not gonna, you can't do anything. You know you can't
Well,
do
why
anything.
can't we?
You know that your magic does not work against the Dwellers until the Solstice, and it's not the Solstice. So I just mispronounced Solstice twice, 3 times actually. Can't say that word. Can't make it happen in my mouth.
Say solstice.
Solstice. There, I did.
I can say it, but I have
Yeah.
a lisp, so it sounds even stupider when I say it than when you say it.
We didn't
Solstice.
I
hear-
don't have a
you
lisp,
sounded
but I'm
perfect.
pretty sibilant. Solstice.
Those
I
I,
have
st-
a
I
lisp,
bit my
but
tongue
I've
as I
had
said
the-
it, so.
Oh, all right. Well, Jim's out for the night. Nice to see you. See you later, pal. That's large and in charge.
I found half a blunt in this little ashtray I was using.
What a life Jim's leading. He still has that cold hamburger sitting there, too.
I'm also thawing out a turkey in my kitchen to make an entire turkey this weekend.
You should. You absolutely should. I
going
had
to.
so much turkey this week. It was so fucking amazing.
I feel like I didn't have enough. I had one serving at a family Thanksgiving and had no leftovers. Like, leftovers are the best part of having turkey.
We talked about this in the chat. The best thing about Thanksgiving is the next day when you make a turkey sandwich with all that like real thick pulled off turkey. Holy shit, it's good.
I bought some of that expensive, what's that, Dave's bread or whatever? I got a loaf
I don't
of
like
that
that
stuff.
Dave's bread very much.
I like it. I got it, and I got some provolone cheese. I'm gonna make me the best turkey melt you've ever seen in your life this weekend.
I'm a simple man. I take 2 slices of fucking basic bread and slap some mayo and some turkey on there, and that is heaven to me.
That is really good.
I don't even need cheese, other things on top. Just
Ooh, I like some provolone.
I love cheese. That next day, 2 days
don't need
later,
it,
turkey,
but
just
it's
some
good.
mayo, some bread, some turkey. Anyway, we chase after this poor soul and attempt to stop it and fail. It walks into the Dweller of Woe's palace, I guess.
It walks through their fence. We try to hold this villager
Get
back, and they're like, "Oh no, it's so strong!" And it like throws us off, and we're really sad about it. But then the unthinkable happens. and everyone gets real sad. We
can't
hear
even think
another
about it.
song. We hear another song, and then what? Garl's affected. Garl becomes a soul walker.
Oh.
No way!
So they're going to fridge Garl to give Valerie and Zale some fucking motivation.
Yeah, this is
And
where the
maybe
game
some
gets dark.
personality. This is good, actually. I like Garl, but this is probably good for the game, right?
Yeah.
This is where the game gets dark because Zale is like, I would rather kill Garl myself than see his soul sucked out.
Wait,
and
what?
then we see them do a mercy killing on Garl.
And then they have sex, which is weird because they're twins.
And then you see non-simulated sex.
They're definitely not twins.
Non-simulated?
They were born 6
Like
months
No,
apart.
real
already
pornography?
We've already
Yep.
established that they are twins, and then the mother, Zale, was born, and then the mother held her legs together for 6 months.
Those are Irish twins.
Of course, what really happens is a ninja appears out of nowhere and
Kunimitsu.
paralyzed.
Can we, John? I'm sorry that maybe you didn't pick up on this, but I gotta spoil this for you. Do you know who
no,
this character
it's
is?
not spoiled
Okay.
yet.
All right,
Jim,
okay,
come on.
All right. I'll say.
We're gonna spoil it because it's very obvious, but we're not gonna do it right now.
Super obvious.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do it in 10 minutes.
The fact that it's not obvious right now.
No, he just
I
figured
know
it out.
who it is.
Yeah, he
It
just
was
figured
immediately
See
obvious.
what you did, Jim?
Yeah.
See what you did? We
They
could have
look
spoiled
exactly
this and it would have been
the
fun.
same. They look exactly the same.
She has a
They
mask
don't.
on.
Yeah, they have the same
ninja.
mask on, John. They have the same mask on.
The same haircut.
One of them
Same
has a
pink
hat. What do you
eyes.
mean the same haircut?
Their hair is the same.
Under the hat?
Yeah, I saw it.
But
Anyway.
Johnny could have had the pleasure of learning this in game at the same time as Valerie and Zale. Oh, how sad. Anyway, this
I'm very
ninja
gullible.
This ninja comes out of nowhere and paralyzes Garl, and this is when
Paralyzes him
Zale-
by stabbing him in the back, by the way.
Yeah.
And Zale and Valerie are like, did you just murder our friends?
And she's like, no, I paralyzed him so we could have time to save him. And this is when Zale has his homosexual awakening. He looks at the darkness inside of him and realizes that he has strong feelings of love and desire for Garl.
I dated a guy once, but he got fired from Zales because he took home jewelry and he thought he was allowed to as like an assistant manager, but apparently he wasn't allowed
What
to.
does that mean? What do you mean he
Like-
thought he was allowed to take it home?
Well, like because
for
he
a
wore
day?
it. Yeah, like because he wore it to the they wear you're supposed to wear the jewelry that you're promoting, like the watches and stuff, I guess. And he thought that meant he could take it home and take it back the next day, but he got fired for stealing.
So he took it home and
Absolutely.
promoted it to his cats, and then they fired him.
I guess.
I worked at a bookstore, and we were allowed to take home books that we could read. Like it was basically like you could treat it like your own library.
Oh
But-
wow, we just got free books.
I
when went
actually
to a
am not
bookstore.
sure that was a rule in retrospect. I think people were just stealing books.
Yeah, see, that's where this happens. That's how this happens, Matt.
I worked
Yeah,
at a
but
cafe,
books make
and at
sense,
the end
and-
of the day, you were supposed to throw away the uneaten baked goods. I'm gonna take them.
Vanessa, are you going to confess to a crime?
It wasn't a crime. It was a violation of the
Workplace policy.
store policy.
Oh, Jim's
But I also
lights.
did it in full view
went
of the
on and off.
management.
Oh,
So,
So
Garl
anyway,
is dead.
Garl is on the floor. He's paralyzed. Zale is like,
Garl hit the floor. Let the Garl hit the floor.
Zale stands over him and he's like, Garl, I feel feelings. I have a pool of darkness
No, this is so
inside of me.
we take Garl back and
so he's unconscious and can't move. Yeah.
No.
Zale and Valere are talking about him in his like in room, and I like this because Zale's like, whenever Garl was in danger, it gave me like a feeling in my tummy. I felt so funky in my tummy.
I want to keep putting him in danger so I feel it more.
Hey, you know what? This is a modern RPG, so like maybe that's where this is going.
Yeah.
This is
knows?
my theory. That's how I interpreted this. He also says that he is upset because he thinks he missed out on his opportunity to face the darkness within, which I guess is just homosexuality, because he's like, oh, I turned away from that feeling and I should have embraced it, like the Elder Mist said
he's
too.
I felt like it would make me explode or something like
Yeah.
that. So we get introduced to the act. So up to this point, the mysterious assassin that appeared is just called Mysterious Assassin. She introduces herself. Her name is Sarai.
Whoa,
And she says
Shredder's daughter?
Yeah. She says she has a plan to save Garl. But also we didn't say when they're talking about how their tummies hurt, Valere learns a new skill called Lunar Shield that I've never used.
What? That's the only way I got past
It's
the
really
Necromancer.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Is it a whole party buff or is it just one?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
planet
it like
protection.
takes one hit.
Oh, really? It totally absorbs one hit?
Yeah.
Wow, for the whole party?
Yeah.
Yep.
Whoa, that's super good.
Yeah, I have not needed to use that.
Yes.
I did.
I'm not keeping this gate. I'm just standing next to it, making sure it's in good shape.
It did help me out a lot in my normal run playthrough. I had to use it a bunch, but in my current playthrough, haven't touched it once. Don't chop it. Beat it.
So
I didn't
Sarai
have to use it, but I chose to.
So Sarai is like, I have a plan. Follow me. We go to the, like, what do they call it? Like the flooded cemetery, and there's a ferryman, like a ferryman of the dead kind of guy, like a River Styx Carol kind of figure, and he's like, I'll ferry you over there, but I need payment. And we see what we as in Vanessa, Matt, and I knew to be as Captain Cliché's coin that we earn from the abandoned laboratory to be that coin, which John thought was, I guess, just another coin of Undead Accord. John, I guess, thinks there's more than one MacGuffin in every narrative.
Well, I thought, if they made a whole coin. If they went through the process of like minting a coin and getting the stamp for it and everything, they're gonna make more than one.
It's like if the River Styx ferryman took Sacagawea dollars.
I mean, he will, though. You can put any old coins over your eyes. They'll accept them.
It's true. You can even put like those railroad pennies over. They'll take those. Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember, did you ever go to like the zoo as a kid and you could put like a penny in the thing and you would have to wind the thing that would smash them and imprint them with a thing? I love those
I like
things.
how Jim thinks that's a zoo thing and not an everything thing.
Oh, I think the only time I ever encountered them as a kid was at the zoo.
The
they're all
zoo,
over
the
the place.
aquarium, every amusement park.
We didn't have aquariums or amusement parks where I grew up at.
And then they come out
We
hot
had really
in your
sad
little hand.
zoos. Yeah, they do. So this is where we get the longest dungeon up to this. This is like a multi-part dungeon. There's an outside and an inside to this dungeon. There's like an outer cemetery that's full of zombos and tree monsters and a mini boss fight against like a military skeleton whose name is oh, I should change that. I did not mean to spell it like that. His name is Duke Aventry.
Oh, I like Duke Aventry. This is fun. He's like a fun little zomboi. I believe his name is George Skellington, because that's what he looks like. He looks like George Washington, the fucking zombie.
Oh, is he wearing like a powdered wig?
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me.
I'm gonna look up his character model. That would be great. Duke Aventry.
George Skellington.
Oh, he is wearing a powdered wig.
Wow. Keep it in your pants, Jim.
Oh, he has like a mask on. He's like a mummy with like blue decrepit wrapping with like a Phantom of the Opera mask on.
Yeah.
And a powdered wig. And his armor like has cool like shoulder spikes on it, bone spikes.
So
I
Vanessa,
like
is
him.
he?
Cool character.
Well, and he's
Yeah,
got
is he
wooden
more
teeth.
of a Vanessa boyfriend than Keenathan?
100%. Keenathan
Okay.
is buff, but he's working man buff. Like he earns
not-
those
he's
muscles
not
through
buff.
labor, not through like.
That's you're thinking
leisure.
of Valtrex.
You're thinking of Valtrade.
Oh right. I'm sorry. Keenathan's the blind one, right? But he's not actually
he's not
blind.
blind.
Keenathan is.
Oh,
a
so
Vanessa
I get it.
boyfriend
Vanessa,
as well.
Keenathan's not a Vanessa boyfriend because he's blind.
No, I just said he was a Vanessa boyfriend for one
Ableist.
thing.
You were talking about Valtrade.
No, I was not. If you roll back the tape, you will hear me say, Keenathan is a Vanessa boyfriend.
All right, let's roll back the tape. I'm Vanessa,
What?
and
What
I hate
were-
blind
Can
people.
you hold on? Can we play that back? I want to hear what you originally said before you made while you were making those sounds.
I mean, obviously it was fart, 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 fart.
You know, this Duke Aventry character model, he has like a powdered
George
wig
Skellington.
ponytail. He's like a little ponytail. Speaking of ponytails, at my job, I work with an agency that handles our Amazon business, and the main guy, like, he's just a guy, and he's
Call
probably
him
like
out.
50,
Call
probably
him out on the
50,
show.
and he's bald, and like, you know, he just looks like a normal guy. And today, he turned his head in the camera, and I saw the most illustrious ponytail in
Nothing
the back.
on this earth like a bald guy ponytail.
And
Like,
then I was like, you know what? All these fish posters on his walls in the background kind of make a little more sense now.
listen, this is a farmhouse. Fish was on my top 5.
I
of
saw
the
that.
year, which is weird because I listened to Fish for like a week. Guess I listened to it a lot in that week.
So after we beat Duke Aventry, we get into the dungeon proper.
George Skellington.
I should say Duke Aventry also teaches Zale a new skill called
He does.
Dash Strike.
It's super powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Between that and
this-
Sunball, not Sunball, what's the other one he gets? The Sun Shower. Zale has some of the strongest shit in the game. Which is funny because Valerie has some of the most annoying shit in the game. And I feel like the developers
You
are
were
like making
whining
a
about
commentary about
No.
how women are weaker.
This is bullshit. The developers are making a commentary about how much easier it is for men to succeed based on nothing, whereas women have to work twice as hard to have the same effect.
That was also my... Don't steal my theories and spout
That
them
was
back at
not
me.
your theory.
It definitely was.
You said that it was because the people... This is all in the chat. I can roll it back.
Roll it back.
You were...
Oh, I think it's because it's saying that women are weaker.
Oh no, Matt, I think it's comment on the glass ceiling and how women have to work twice as hard to have the same achievements as men.
Oh, no, I disagree. It's about how women are stupid and dumb.
Just to be clear, I said that I think that that's the developer's stance because of your two main playable characters, the man gets to stand there and basically you have to be a moron to fuck it up. And the woman is the most difficult thing to do in the game. That fucking Moonerang, particularly when there's more than one enemy around, so it changes the timing up. Oh, I hate it so much.
You know what's a little bit confusing to me
Squarely
is
against the Moonerang.
that Valerie throws a Moonerang, but also her main weapon is a staff.
What's confusing about that?
Yeah,
she
what's
has
confusing
staff
about
and a
that?
She has two weapons.
Absolutely.
What are you talking about?
But
The
she
Moonerang
also-
I'm sorry, is the fireball a separate weapon from the sword?
Oh,
I
you
guess
think
it
this
is.
is? You think this is a boomerang made of moon?
I think that it is a moon
think it's
tiara like
magic.
Sailor Moon has.
Ooh, that makes sense,
Oh, I
actually.
like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. So now we get to the second part of the haunted graveyard,
John
or the
looks
flooded
so tired
graveyard.
of our bullshit.
Sorry.
John, what's going on?
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
We're not even at 2 hours yet. This is a short episode. So this is a part where we get the second,
I thought we were at 3 hours.
the second environmental traversal object, which is the grapploo. Is that what you guys called it?
Yeah, grapploo.
Grapploo.
And you can see it coming because you see all these things you can't grapple to. I'm like,
Yeah, they're all these like
oh,
posts.
boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know where this is going. I went the wrong way first, fought some things. I was like, no, well, because you see that there's a gate and it's got 3 skulls in the door, and they fly off and join some piles of bones, and so you got to fight these piles of bones to get the skulls back. But if you go left, there's a bunch of grapple points, and you can't go anywhere. So I was like, I guess I have to find the other place. So I went right, and I couldn't find it, but then I realized there's like a very obvious glowing waterway that you have to take.
Yeah, there's also a really important item here, like an accessory that you can find called the Shimmering Shard that increases damage to undead enemies by a whopping 15%. You should get this thing. It makes this dungeon very easy. I put it on Sarai because Sarai's physical attacks are kind of not great.
You get it. You actually get that earlier because I put it on Garl. You get that way earlier. Yes.
No way. You
100%
find it
yes.
in this dungeon. You
Nope.
find it in this dungeon.
Wait, which thing?
I
Sorry,
put
say it
that
again.
on Garl
Shimmering
and
Shard.
could not take it off of him
Oh.
because he was in a coma.
Oh,
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I know
Wrong.
I'm not. I know I'm not wrong.
Wrong.
Definitely not wrong.
I feel like you get the Shimmering Shard thing if you grapple onto a monster. Like that's like the first thing you can get from monster grappling.
I was under the impression you got it from an alternate path in this flooded graveyard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You don't get it, but like Garl doesn't go to the flooded graveyard.
Oh,
'cause
I
he's
didn't say
already-
anything about Garl. I'm not
already
disagreeing
coma.
with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
Jen.
oh,
I'm
okay.
agreeing with you.
John is supporting me. Thank you, John.
I mean,
But
I'm
maybe
sorry,
there's
but
another
you're
one
both wrong
Matt
because
found.
I had this on Garl.
Maybe Matt found a different one you and I didn't find that he made up in his crazy mind.
That's true.
Because the minute I got Sarai in my party, I was like, oh, I should put that undead damage thing on Sarai. And I couldn't take it off of Garl because he's in a coma.
You know what? I like the way you think because you should definitely put it on Sarai because her physical attacks kind of suck. But I like that her. I like that one thing I found her attack hard to time to double it up. It's one thing that's not very intuitive. Oh, really? I thought it was one of the harder ones to time.
I did not. I had no problem with hers. And I love her fucking special abilities, which, by the way, she gets, at least at this point, she has the best ones in the game. The Venom Flurry thing,
Love that one.
I've complained a lot about the Moonerang. I have a lot of problems with that
It's
one.
basically the Moonerang, though. It's a harder to pull off Moonerang.
No, it's not,
for
because
me.
the timing is the same basically no matter what. It speeds up, but it's always the same. Whereas the Moonerang is based on how far away from you the enemy is.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
And also, then she's got the one that like kicks them back a notch on their timing, which I fucking love. And then the last one, the assassinate one, is just awesome. Which also really easy to time up. It takes forever, which is another. I complained about this earlier. It takes so long for these animations, but that one's easy. Like she walks through a door. Like it's. I felt it was obvious. Like you don't hit the button when she walks through the door. Like, but she pulls the knife out. You hit the button and she stabs them, and you do so much damage.
That delay turn one is so useful too.
Yes. I also did like 250 damage with the Venom Flurry one on the Skeleton Boys.
I found that one tricky. I had a hard time with the timing on that.
The Skeleton Boys that you have to kill to get the glowing skulls to get to the Necromancer. Each one of these I used that Venom Flurry one on and got 200 plus damage. I don't know. I guess
Wow.
that one just works for me, where I can just basically do it until the point where I can't hit the button fast enough. Whereas for me, and you guys clearly having a much easier time, the Moonerang, I fuck it up every single time.
I can never do, because you get his dash here. That's what he learns. That's what boy. What's his name?
Duke Aventry.
Zale.
Oh, Zale. Yeah, Zale
Zale.
learns from Duke Aventry is he does a slice across all the enemies, and there is a point you can double damage or do a second thing or something. I couldn't figure out what.
Yeah, me either.
I guess
I
it's
couldn't
when it's
figure out what
I
flashing.
think it's at the
was, like-
very end. I think at the
When it's
very end, he
flashing.
like,
Yeah.
I think at the very end he points his sword at the sky, and I think that's when you have to.
Oh. Oh, look at that fat cat. Oh,
All right, so
Chungus is
we're
so
in
big.
the Necromancer's palace,
It's huge. Oh my god.
and we finally get the Graplau.
Plow.
This is just a hook shot,
Wow.
but it's a really
Haven't
good
we
hook
talked
shot.
about this like 8 times already? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have
So
a few
there's the
times.
graplau, Vanessa, which is the hook shot. I liked it because it was fast, and you could really like
Yes.
grapple fast around the environment, which I liked.
Go long
I-
range too.
Yeah, I got I think all the chests in this dungeon. There's one that you have to like just kind of blind walk through some bones to get to at the end, right by the necromancer's door. But otherwise, they were pretty easy to get.
Yeah.
I really like
So-
that the game has now, we're about, let's say about 6 hours in, has finally given
8.
you the ability to attack enemies,
At a distance.
well, not in a distance, attack them in advance of the fight. You could kind of do it before if you snuck up on them, but now you can finally hit them to initiate combat, which starts you off with a little bonus of a little damage being done to them and a little mana being on the floor. I desperately needed this. Like, not being able to attack the overworld enemies was driving me fucking crazy. So that you can finally do it. Every enemy I see, I'm like, dead! Just smack him with that fucking graplau. I love it.
It gives you a little more control over like how you engage with enemies, which I think is very much appreciated. Also, I notice in this chunker especially, it's a lot easier than I expected it to be to run away from enemies. They do a beeline towards you, but if you can get ahead of them, they'll never catch you. They never run faster than you, which I really like. When you get the angle on them, you're good. So after we find the 3 glowy skulls, which end up in... It's kind of similar to the Elder Mistrials, where there's a left, a center, and a right-hand path you have to do to clear out the vines. You do that, and then you go to fight the Necromancer, who's a little sexier than I thought she would be. It's just kind of a little sexmancer.
No.
She's Ramaya.
She's a real nilf, huh?
She looks like a
Ramaya?
zombie.
Ramaya, the sexamancer.
Yeah,
this-
she's on Jim's to-do list.
Yeah, this one's a little bit annoying because she can animate flesh and bone piles in the boss
Yeah,
arena.
she can.
Oh yeah, she animated my bone pile.
That's filthy. It's a good thing Vanessa's not paying attention, or she'd be so mad at that comment.
I'd be furious, but I'm too sleepy.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
Sorry, I didn't sleep very well last night. It was so windy, and the trees were bang clanging on my house.
Same here. It was super windy, and like I had to like keep telling the animals to go back to sleep. So I kept getting up. I woke up at midnight, and Flash was like mindlessly walking into our bathroom. It's like, Flash, go to bed.
Yeah, I need to get a guy out here to trim back some of the branches, because I can get some of them, but I can't get all of them.
Yeah, you do.
I've been I got one of those packs of 5 catnip mice, and so now I just hide them all around the house before I go to bed or go to work, and it's really cute when I get home from work or wake up, just finding that she's attacked all of them.
Oh, I love that. Cats love those things.
Anyway, so we have defeated. Well, you get into a big fight with her. She can animate Jim's big bone pile, and she can get one of those annoying mages, and then she can get.
I think she's the real Fleshmancer.
Oh. And
I liked
there's.
her.
Me too.
Yeah, you know what? Good for her.
I didn't like that we didn't kill her.
Vanessa with a drink.
Yeah, she's right. Like, she's just minding her own business. They barge into her house. They're like, give us your rock.
She's so upset about giving you that green flame. It's like she gets off on being withholding.
Well, she is a woman, Jim.
Sounds like my ex-wife. Hey!
Whoa! Man cast. And Vanessa. But don't worry, Vanessa's not like the other girls.
Vanessa looks like she's experiencing physical pain.
Vanessa is for sure a pick-me. You know what I mean?
What? She is not.
I mean, I pretend to play video games so that boys will like me.
True.
So.
Yeah, obviously. That's why you spent 8 years doing this podcast.
This is a kind of a tricky boss fight. I found, well, I was out of food. I guess I didn't pack enough lunches, and Garl's not here to give quick, easy heals. So
Garl's not
I
here to
didn't
give you a
have much
quickie.
Heals. Give me heals.
Quickie.
Garl's recipe that's a kind of a missed opportunity for some product placement. Like, Garl should be able to make like a hot beef and cheddar.
Yes,
maybe like
for sure.
maybe a Big Mac.
Well, remember they did that
personal
in
pan
Final Fantasy
pizza?
15, where he made
the
cup noodle stuff with his branded Coleman grill.
No, they had Coleman chairs, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah. So don't worry, Final Fantasy's got you on that. Don't forget that Audi designed the car. We'll talk about that in 2026. Right. Don't worry. Anyway,
I didn't think this was a hard fight. It just felt like annoyingly long.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you play it on easy mode, Jim.
That's
creak,
true.
Creak.
It was annoyingly long, but it was difficult. It was like I had to really use every trick in the book to make it through. Sometimes I had to make sure I had the combo meter super full so I could use the super heal. Sometimes I had to make sure I had enough MPs in the girl and save Valerie's Valaire's actual. Save her planet protection.
I like that you're now just saying Valerie, but then you have to be like, no. I refuse to fucking acknowledge the real truth of the world.
I'm not compromising on this one.
Oh, no,
but it was a good boss fight. I kind of wish that, because she's just like a normal character, so she doesn't have like a super cool animated attack or anything like that.
She does have a fucking like 15-point lock that you can't possibly deal with. Though
I got pretty close a couple of times.
Sarai does have the like the poison skull looking, the green skull.
Yeah, she fills in the venom. I think it's called venom power.
Yeah.
Well,
but it doesn't do poison damage. It's just like an element.
So often you get these enemies that are like, you got to hit 4, slashing things for our lock, and you've only got, for most of the game up to this point, you've only got Zale that can do that, so you can never do it, and it's fucking annoying. And now finally I think
a lot of them aren't meant to be finished. They're just meant because, like I said last time, like every one that you knock off dulls it a certain percentage. So it's like, rather than getting 100% of this boss's charge attack, you can get it down to maybe like 55%, 60%. So it makes it manageable.
That sucks.
It's called strategy. So we beat this necromancer. She's like, hey, here's this. I don't think we ever said this. We came all this way for like a spirit or soul stone that will help restore Garl's soul.
Yeah. And
so she gives us that, and then we're like, hey, we can't actually leave until we get a green flame for the ferryman. Will you also give us a green flame? And I like that this necromancer is like so put upon. Like, Oh, God.
Kids.
Well, she goes from like, I don't want to get murdered by these kids to like, oh my God, I hate them.
Just
so
like,
quickly.
get the fuck out already.
She
that's
did
the
remind
end
me
of
of Vanessa.
I would like to think if I ever went to Vanessa's house, that's how she would act.
Well, especially you like ask for random things from her house, like, "Hey, Vanessa, give me that Taskmaster
He
painting."
did. He
She's
did
like,
just the other
"Ugh."
day. He was like, "Oh, Vanessa, send me your MetaQuest so I can play some Batman game."
I did
Oh,
not.
wow.
Well, also, you've had my Xbox One for like 5 years, so
I have offered to send it back several times.
I wanted the MetaQuest long enough to play Batman Arkham, whatever, Arkham Shadow.
I actually thought about just sending you back your Xbox One and being like, enjoy.
That would be so funny.
But then I thought maybe if I keep it long enough, you'll forget that I have it and I can give it to someone else.
I mean, it's been like 4 or 5 years at this point, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the end of this week's Chunker. Next time, we are going to play to the end of the Tower of Ansudlo, which there's not as much plot stuff as you would imagine happen between here and there. So there's going to be some dungeons. It's going to be a few boss fights, but it's going to be a good time. Before we get into Squarely Against John, I think we have a mini game for you to talk about in your bullshit mini game corner. If Matt was here, he would sing you a song, but I think he's taking a dump. So
It's a spiral getting tighter. It's a wheel within a wheel. It's a circle ever turning. And you know that song, Vanessa. Pick it up.
No.
Oh.
I don't know this song, but he's
It was in the
singing about
Muppets.
circles. Muppets?
Oh,
Yeah,
what
they-
a good dump I just took.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Matt. You know what I was thinking about? Is it okay?
Don't think about
Okay.
that.
Is it
Like
okay
dumps.
to
Like dumps.
listen to a podcast while you're pooping?
yeah,
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Yes. Okay, but there's a second stage.
Okay.
Is it okay to listen to your friend streaming Alan Wake 2 while you're pooping?
Of course it is. Why would it not be?
I feel like that's a bit
Absolutely.
weird.
I don't think it
Okay.
is at all.
I
was
feel
like-
like it's weird that you didn't say it while she was.
Yeah,
singing.
I agree. I feel like it's weird if you don't comment in the chat, I'm pooping.
Yeah. At least
Well, I'm not go-
throw a little poop emoji in there.
I don't use my phone. I don't
be like,
touch
or
my
like make
phone
like
on the
a,
toilet.
or like make like a flush pun. You don't get on your phone on the toilet. Who
No.
are you?
What
I'm
are you
busy.
talking about?
What do you do?
Busy doing
What do you
what?
Poop. I'm
Read a
pooping.
book?
You have to
just
concentrate
like-
on it? You have to think
Yeah,
about it?
breathing. Get
What are
my
you doing
legs
with your
up.
hands?
You know.
Your legs up? Are you,
You know.
holding your?
You wanna
are you holding
get
your legs
into
up
like a
while-
natural pooping
Oh,
position.
Johnny
Do
has
you
a
need
squatty potty.
potty?
Yeah. Yeah.
The only
This
time
reminds
I
me
felt-
of the current running joke that I have with my friend Paul, where when we're pooping, we send each other gifts of things that are brown.
Oh no.
I told him one day because we work together, we're on teams, and I was like, it sucks that there's only green and red. What if I want to set myself to brown so everybody knows leave me alone for the next 15 minutes? And so now we send each other gifts of like Charlie Brown or Browns players.
That's amazing.
The
Anyway.
only time I felt weird about listening to a podcast is I had like a little Bluetooth speaker that you could have in the shower, and I was listening to a podcast that was done by
Square roots,
people we know,
obviously.
and it wasn't Square Roots, it was something else, and that made me feel a little weird. I'm like, I don't know about this.
Anyway, so Wheels is a game where you have two figures and a wheel, I guess.
I don't think the
And
wheel is. I think everybody has the wheel. I think
yeah,
that's
but
just-
you have a
The
copper.
wheels are like the spinning like slot machine type wheels.
You could, yeah,
There's a
you could
lot
get
of
like a
wheels.
different wheels for sure.
Oh,
like,
really?
Because yeah, you got a copper one to start.
Oh, okay.
I found a bronze wheel.
Whoa.
So there's points to build up the wall to keep attacks. Although it doesn't block every kind of attack. Like, well, unless you get it super high, in which case it'll block every kind of attack. But like at medium
hold on.
strength, it only blocks
so
archers.
the wheel you
Yeah,
you
please.
spin the wheel and
Johnny's
it
description is terrible.
and it rolls like a few. There are different symbols on the wheel. Some symbols will power up your figurines, so we'll either they have every figure. You have two figurines. Each character has two
Also,
figurines.
a terrible description of this game.
No. And
bad.
so each figurine has like a set of notches, and also has a certain number of lights around its pedestal that will light up so you can level it up. And each symbol will either take a notch out of your attack meter, light up part of your pedestal to help level up your character so it can do stronger attacks, or it will beef up your defenses around your center, which is where your enemies attack. So I think it's 3 or 4 spins of the wheel in every turn. And you can choose to lock in symbols. So you can lock in. So depending on how you're strategizing, like what your enemies' figures are or what your figures are, you can choose to either prioritize attacking, which means locking in attacking symbols on every wheel turn, or you can prioritize defense, which means locking in building up your wall. Or you can lock in leveling up your figurines, which means stronger attacks later. So there's different ways you can play the game. I found the most value in prioritizing attacking. So taking more attack notches off of your figurines, that lets you play offense a little bit, where I found the AI likes to level up its figurines first. So
Yeah.
if you can get in a couple attacks early, you can usually come out victorious without a ton of strategy. So
I
I
do
found
like
that
to build up a little beautiful wall, though.
Yeah, the wall definitely helps, unless they have an archer. The archer can shoot over your wall if it's not the highest it can be.
I think the rogue can like get around it too.
Yeah. The mage, I think, can shoot over the lowest form of the wall, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of little nuances, but I think it's really fun to play. Once you know the rules, I think it's fun. It's a fun game. And like whenever you do, each wheel station that you can find in different towns has a casual game you can play where there's really no stakes, or you can play a champion game in each town, and each champion game gives you a new figurine. So like in the Wraith Island I think it's Brisk, where you find your first wheels game. If you win the champion game there, you get the archer figure. So you win a new figure every champion game you win. Sorry, John, I took over your minigame corner.
Oh, no, that's okay. You explained it better than I could.
Gobbledygook. I don't think he did at all.
Well, I understand what he's saying, because there's the one thing you gotta lower, and then it goes ding, and then the thing moves.
There are 3 symbols. One is offense, one is leveling up your figurines, and one is defense. And so it just depends on how you want to prioritize each stat. If you want to go full
there's
on
sparkly blue version, which levels them up, or normal version, which takes down their attack meter.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. It's just hard.
And there are like there are double versions of each symbol too, which can like either take your attack down 2 notches, build your defense up a couple notches. So there's another layer of strategy there as well, depending on like your wheel roll. Yeah,
because it does the poker gambling thing of holding roulette spins. You can like keep a card or
it's like if you're playing like classic draw poker, right? You can keep cards back in order to kind of build a better hand at the end.
Yeah. I don't love it. I think it's too complicated. That's my hot take.
I agree. I think it sucks.
And that's I'll try again though. I'll try again. I just was like, I'm done. This is a long chunker. I don't want to keep playing this.
What was the game in Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Which one?
Queen's Blood.
Queen's Blood. Yeah.
I
That
like
game was
Queen's Blood.
fucking amazing. And this
I like
is
Queen's Blood.
boring garbage.
Matt, you just like card games, dude.
Yeah.
You're a card game guy.
Yeah.
Slot machine boy.
All
He
right.
doesn't
So
like the plink plink plonk of the one-armed bandit.
we talked about what we're playing to next. We've done that. What do we do next? Do we do level
Squarely
up or
against.
do we Patreons? Oh, squarely against.
Yeah.
Okay. Jim, what are you squarely against?
I'm squarely against all the meta bullshit with the pirate characters. Captain Cliche makes me roll my eyes so hard my head falls off. It sucks. Like, I don't know. It would have been so much better if they gave her like just some kind of earnest pirate name and let the reveal kind of do itself. Like, when they called her Captain Cliche, I was like, oh, this is a meta character that's going to be like, it's going to have another function somewhere else. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere else. And when she took her hook hand off, I just, you know what? I'm going to change it. I'm squarely against the way they handled Sarai's character. It's stupid. It's a
Great
bad
character
way
when
to-
she joins your party, though.
Yes, a very fun character to like actually play as, but her introduction and all that, just I feel like it was kind of bungled, and it felt like very self-serving writing. Like, hey, me and my friend think this is really funny. Let's make a whole game out of it. It felt like kind of that kind of thing. Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
I'm roundly for the Necromancer. I touched on it a little bit. I like her attitude. I like that she is a independent woman. I like that she has goals in life. I like that she has boundaries.
What are her
and
goals?
I like that she
Raise the dead, obviously.
raise the dead. Yeah. And
That's
I
her
like
profession.
I like that she has a duke wrapped around her finger. I mean, who doesn't want that?
Oh, yeah.
Fancy powdery
very-
wig boy.
A very
George
polite,
Skellington.
helpful skeleton.
He's wonderful.
He is actually a pretty cool character.
I think we'll see more of him, and I look forward to it.
I also like when you beat him, his reasoning for not wanting to fight you to the death was like, I'm not dead yet, so like the necromancer must obviously want me to live, so I'm just not gonna fight you anymore.
Yeah. And I like her reluctant handing over of the green flame. She was so mad about it. It was hilarious.
Who's
I'm
next?
sorry, Matt.
So I guess I'm squarely against the lock system. I'm tired of it. I'm not loving it. I think it's a smartly designed system for sure. Like, I don't think it's bad gameplay. I just think it's overdone. And as I mentioned earlier, I think that they are using the lock system to like show you, to foreshadow like, oh, there's going to be more. And that's cool, but like it's cool once, and then when it happens 10 times, it's fucking annoying. So not overall squarely against the lock system so much as just how it's implemented at this point early in the game. I think it sucks at this point. And they overuse it. What about you, Johnny? What are you squarely against?
I am. Let's see. I'm roundly for the cute little background graphics. I think the sprite artists in this game did a super good job. The environments look great. They are fun to explore. They're full of lots of little details. I love the mole people. I love the mines look great, which is hard for caves because caves normally look pretty boring, but these were sparkling and interesting. I like the little breezes and the coral areas. The music was good. The coral area music was like just a riff on a Chrono Cross track, but I didn't mind that because it was a good Chrono Cross track. Is that everybody? What about you've already done
that is
Vanessa.
everybody.
All right, what's
you guys
next,
ready
Jim?
to talk about how we leveled up?
Hell yeah.
Yes,
Oh, I want to go
Yeah.
first because I had a
but Vanessa's about to fall asleep. I would suggest
Oh.
doing Vanessa first.
Okay, Vanessa, go ahead.
Then you.
I played Alan Wake 2. I played the whole
Finally!
first chapter of Alan Wake 2. This was a long time coming, I guess. As everyone knows, I famously made an agreement with Jim that if you watch Taskmaster, I would play Alan Wake 2. He didn't like Taskmaster. I guess it's a little early for me to like weigh in on whether I like Alan Wake 2 or not.
I mean, well, let me say this. I didn't like the episode of Taskmaster that I watched. If you feel like there would be another season that would be a better entry for me, I would be open to that.
That's so generous.
I don't hate Taskmaster, but
I say the Julian season is my favorite season.
I
watched
like 15.
7.
Like
the season that I watched was the rubber duck one.
That means nothing.
I watched the big duck one. There was
that is the big duck one.
That's the Julian one. No, I have an idea for that, but I won't make you do that.
I'm leaving the door open. Just saying, I'm leaving the door open.
I appreciate that. I did enjoy doing my little Alan Wake stream. I don't really stream often, and so
what did you think about that dong?
It was kind of fun. I didn't see any dong, Matt. I made him wear the little pants because I was worried that the children on Twitch would be traumatized.
What did you think of the story? Because like when the chapter that you played was the end of it. Well, close to the end of it. Like literally, when I was playing, it made me gasp. I was like, oh, "That is so neat." So I'm curious what you think of it. You probably didn't have the same heights that I got to, but
yeah, I'm not quite feeling the same heights. I feel sort of akin to playing a Dark Anthologies game. Like I think it has kind of similar vibes to that. So, but I like Dark Anthologies games, so that's not a bad thing.
I feel like the game sets up this mystery so well, where like in that first chapter it trickles in like there's a murder, and then it's like it's a murder cult, and then there are these manuscript pages, and then there's this brutally murdered guy, and then this man just disappears out of the morgue, and like it just keeps stacking all these really interesting things until you're like, just like let me do something, and then it lets you do stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say I think Vanessa's not gonna like the parts where you play as another character. I don't think she'll like that section.
I'm reserving judgment, John. I'm not quite as cynical as you are. I think I'm kind of hit or miss on it. I think there are parts that she won't like. I think there are parts that she'll enjoy.
Well, thank you for leveling up, Jim. Vanessa, how did you level up?
Sorry.
I also watched a movie called Go Through Maze.
Whoa.
Oh, I've been waiting to hear your opinion on this for a minute.
I thought it was pretty good. As with most horror movies, I liked the first half better than the second half. And that's just because every time I watch one of them, I think I start like writing in my head what I would want the conclusion to be, and then it's not that, and then I get salty about it.
I think a lot of those movies end the same, and it's boring.
Yeah.
Well, the first 40 minutes of this movie it felt like it was setting like something really grand up. Like some like really shocking reveal, and then
it's pretty small scale.
It was
so it's not called Go Through Maze, right? That's a word you made up. What is this thing actually called?
It's called Heretic.
It's called Heretic. But actually, after I watched it, I watched a video on YouTube of a former Mormon missionary woman talking about her views of the movie and how accurate or inaccurate it was to like being a young woman on a mission, and also how she saw the whole thing, including the layout of the house, as a metaphor for religion. And I thought that was a really interesting perspective.
That is interesting.
She sort of went through it as she talked about how, you know, at first it's this very welcoming space, and you feel cozy and like it's a safe harbor out of the storm, and then you go in further and you're sort of introduced to this weird doctrine, and then you go in further.
That's interesting, yeah, because then similar to the characters in the movie, you're subjected to a dogma that you're expected to adhere to. You know, that's interesting. One of the I think the thing that disappointed me most about the movie is that it was marketed as a religious horror film, and it was not that.
No, I didn't think so. But I don't have really any religious baggage, so some of that
me
doesn't
either,
resonate
but
for me.
it was marketed as like, this is a religious horror film, and religious horror films have like supernatural elements.
Yeah.
And it definitely set that up in the first half, but didn't deliver on it.
No.
Johnny, what do you think?
I was waiting for Vanessa to
Johnny, please.
call. Okay. Has there been a horror movie with an ending that either met or exceeded your hopes and dreams and expectations?
Oh, sure. There's The Orphanage, the Spanish horror film, which I think is one of my favorites. I would say that the ending of Ready or Not delighted me.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
That's so good. They're making a sequel to that, which is weird.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how that works, and I don't even know if the same woman will be in it or not.
I thought she signed on.
Will she be
did she?
ready
Okay.
or not?
Or will
Also,
she?
I think she's one of the best like actors around right now. Samara Weaving, she's
Yeah.
great.
Will the sequel be called Here I Come?
Patty cake.
Other movies that have sort of satisfied me with the ending of it. I'm sure there are some of them. Sixth Sense is pretty classic. Like, that has a great ending.
Trap.
Trap. Who can complain about Trap?
I would never complain about Trap. It's the perfect film. So yeah, I'm not impossible to please. Get Out. Get Out has a fantastic ending.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess that if you are trying to like point at me and accuse me of being one of those people who only likes quote unquote elevated horror, guilty
No.
as charged.
Oh well, then yes.
So yeah, that's how I leveled up. A really kind of Jim-centric couple of weeks, playing Jim's favorite game and seeing Jim's favorite movie.
It was actually really fun to see you play that game, and one to see you enjoy playing it. Like when you said that Jim was right, this game is like really beautiful. I was like, yes, it really is.
I enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed showing off my amazing puzzle-solving skills live on Twitch.
I was really impressed when you solved that first thing, because that took me like, I'm on my second playthrough, and that took me like 20 minutes on my second playthrough.
You're not on your because you were not on your second playthrough.
I am on my second playthrough.
You're in your fifth playthrough.
Second.
I've seen you play the game twice. Like, I know for a
50
fact
seconds.
you had played it twice before.
Oh, yeah, I guess
played
it's my
it.
third
You
playthrough.
fucking
Yeah,
liar.
this is my third playthrough. But they didn't have a new game plus when I did my second playthrough, so
It's your first new game plus.
yeah, that's true.
I will say that I'm doing the Exit Advent Calendar again, which is a calendar that has a little escape room type puzzle, very much like the puzzle in Alan Wake every day, so my brain was already primed for doing that kind of thing. Plus, I'm a genius, and that's how I leveled up. Jim, how did you level up?
I already went. It's John's turn.
Johnny,
No, you
how
didn't.
did you level up?
Remember, you were gonna go, but then we were like, you should go. It should be Vanessa's
Jim
level
thinks
up.
he
You're right.
went,
You're
I
right.
think he
You're
went
right. It's
too.
my turn. Yeah, you're right. It's my turn.
You
I
just
saw.
talk
Talk
so
about
much
Wicked.
over Vanessa that
I know. I'm sorry. I saw Wicked.
Whoa.
Which I was not expecting to feel so emotional about.
the song
but-
by the band Cold. You saw that?
No. I saw the movie Wicked. Why does John hate Wicked? John, I want you to explain why you don't like Wicked.
It's fucking awful. Just the songs are boring. It's just like, it's musical theater for musical theater students. Like, it's just all like uninteresting songs. There's no patter songs. There's no, it has no change of tone. It is boring. It made my eyes bleed when I saw the stage version.
Wow, you
Oh,
should go
well-
see a doctor about that, because you should not bleed from your eyes because you don't.
I
like
think
a
it's the
musical.
worst worst musical I've ever seen. I would put that. No,
Wicked is
there was
not
a
my-
jukebox musical I saw that was worse.
Yeah.
About like women. It was Menopause the Musical. Is the worst musical I've ever seen. So it's the
Oh, wow.
second worst musical I've ever seen.
Yeah, Wicked isn't my particular cup of tea as far as musicals go, but I did really love the book when I read it, and I think I read it kind of right when it first came out, which was like 2001 maybe.
Oh, you were like a baby too. You're like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I was 2 or 3. It was one of my first books. I got the board book version.
You got the pop-up version.
Yeah, and I really liked the politics of it, which were sort of neutered for the musical, and so I think that's part of kind of my thing with the musical. But Jim, I'm sorry to take the shine off your rose.
Totally,
I'm not
it's
trying
totally
to.
Fine. I will say that I saw it as someone who my exposure to anything after Wizard of Oz has been almost nothing. Like, I don't know anything about the Wicked. I did not know anything about the Wicked story. I haven't seen a ton of musicals in my life. Like, I went into this like just wanting to hopefully I was watching a good movie. And I will say that it is a goddamn good movie.
And you really loved Ariana Grande?
I actually did. Like, she is in most of the scenes in the movie, and she fucking nails those scenes. Like, she nails the tone. She nails the songs. Like, she is able to hit high notes as Glinda the Good Witch that, like, I have not heard in a long time. Like, she can sing so high. Her and Cynthia Erivo, their voices are absolutely incredible. Like, the vocal
Well, I told you
work
I
in
worked
these-
on a Cynthia Erivo movie where every take, she didn't have to sing live. She could have mouthed along to a click
Yeah.
track or a recording. She sang live every take and was the best singer I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my gosh, she
Yeah.
absolutely nails it. Like, when she sings the song at the end of the first act where she's talking about like "Find Me in the West" or whatever, her vocals, like, she is singing from the bottom of her soul. Like, she is belting it, and it sounds incredible. And the production design in the movie, it never feels like these characters are on a movie set. It feels like they're in like a totally different space, like a fantasy realm. It feels like like everything about it just works. The direction works, the acting works, the songs work. The choreography is great. It never when characters break into song in certain movies, like musicals, it feels like, all right, the narrative is going to stop. We're going to do a bunch of choreographed dances. It's going to feel like, it feels like they're putting a stage in a movie in a way. It never feels like that in Wicked. When they do the songs, it feels organic to like where they're at, and they're making use of sets and environments that have already been set up in the movie. And so there's a great sense of place in the movie. Jeff Goldblum does a great job as a wizard. It's like, I had a great time. Like I said, I was brought to tears multiple times in this movie. I thought it was great.
Maybe I should give it another shot. Maybe
I would
more.
say, John, go in with an open mind and be like, hey, I'm just here to see a good movie. You might not be as moved as I was, because you know the beats of the story and the songs, but I will say, like, everything is delivered with the highest level of earnestness and production value, and Ariana Grande does a great job. Cynthia Erivo does an absolutely incredible job. The scene where Elphaba is in the like nightclub where she's doing her dance, and then she's about to get ostracized, and then Glinda shows up and shows her first bit of kindness and empathy, like that killed me. Like, Jalen, my daughter, was sitting next to me, and she looked over. She told me after, she's like, I saw you were trying to hold it in, and then I saw a single tear roll down your cheek. And I was like, I couldn't hold it in. It was so good. And then I was just almost openly sobbing after that. Great movie. 4 stars. I liked it very much.
I love that you loved it, Jim. I famously love the theater, and the theater does love me. And I love that the number one movie in the country right now is about the relationship between two women, which you don't get that often. So
It's such a well realized relationship too. Like the actors in that movie just sell it so well. It's so good. And Michelle Yeoh is in it, and she's amazing. Great
just
cast.
because the musical isn't for me, and that's for various reasons. Like, it just, at the time it came out, it was not the kind of musical I wanted to listen to. You know, it's just like different things happen at different points in your life, and I'm such a Stonheim Sam. Stonheim Stan.
Stonheim Sam, yeah.
I'm such a Sondheim Stan.
No, you're Stonheim
which
Sam.
is just kind of it's just a different kind of writing, and there's nothing wrong with not liking Sondheim, and there's nothing wrong with liking Wicked, but I just do the opposite. But I would say read the book, because it's
I really want to.
it's very grounded in like post 9/11 early Bush politics. Like I think you'd be interested.
I never
the
thought
whole
about
series.
that. That's interesting. Yeah.
Vanessa.
All right. Well, have we all leveled up?
Johnny has a question
Matt
for
and
me.
I have not.
Oh, you guys
but
haven't leveled up yet?
No, neither of
Shit.
us have.
right.
I just have a question for Vanessa. I didn't realize. I thought Seattle was on the coast. And I'm looking at a
What?
map of the United States, and there's like a whole chunk of Washington west of Seattle? What?
Johnny, you go to Seattle all the time.
I know, and I thought it was on the coast.
You never once looked. It's on the Sound, famously Puget Sound. Have you heard of
Yeah.
Puget Sound?
I just thought there was like some islands, like, you know, how Victoria works. But no, there's like a whole peninsula. So when you're talking about how you think Bright Falls is set on the peninsula, is that what you meant? That area?
Yes, that's what I meant. West of
Ah.
Seattle. That's where the Olympic rainforest is. It's where the Olympic mountain range is. And most importantly, it's where Forks, Washington, the set of the Twilight Saga, is.
Oh.
That's where Edward lives.
Okay. All right. Matt. How Matt level? Up?
I read a book. It was called The Kaiju Preservation Society by John
Ooh.
Scalzi.
I love John
It was
Scalzi.
a lot of fun. Yeah, John Scalzi's a fun writer. He's great. He's great at dialogue and character work. It was a lot of fun.
Matt introduced me to his books. I've only read one, but it was good.
My only real complaint is that Scalzi's really bad at like descriptions. He's not bad at it. He just doesn't do it. And for a book about kaiju, that was kind of a letdown. It was a lot of like, it was big, it had wings, it had big eyes. I guess that, you know, that might be more your speed if you want to kind of fill in those blanks yourself. Whereas I really wanted to, you know, have those described to me. But overall, fun book, good time. I really enjoyed it. Kaiju Preservation Society, John Scalzi. Very Scalzi-like. You know, the guy's got he's got a big handle on dialogue and characters where it's very modern, and like, I feel like if I could describe it simply in like a simple term, I would say that his main character is always Spider-Man. They're very quippy, but it's a good time. I liked it. And my other thing that I did is that I watched Star Wars Skeleton Crew,
Oh, was it good? What'd you think?
which just came out this week, and it feels a lot like which the trailers made it pretty clear. Feels a lot like a classic Amblin Entertainment style.
Oh, does it really feel like that? Like, does it
Story,
give you
yeah.
that same like Spielberg butterflies?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that it feels like it's a Spielberg, but it's certainly it's attempting that, and it does a good job. It's about a group of kids that stumble upon a starship and catapult themselves into space, and then have to find their way home. And there's some mystery there that I don't want to say too much about, because it's not necessarily super apparent until the end of the second episode. But It is very entertaining, and it's got some great creature effects, some fantastic creature effects. One of the kids is a little elephant child, and he looks amazing.
That kid.
He looks fantastic, and overall, I really enjoyed it. I will see where it goes. You know, these Star Wars shows are very hit or miss. I feel like I think that the showrunner has said that this show is not going to try to tie into Star Wars lore at all and is just telling its own story, which I really fucking appreciate. Like, I don't need no Skywalkers, that's for sure. It was a good time. It's fun. So check that out if you like them Star Wars. And if you're sick of the Star Wars that are constantly jerking themselves off and talking about other Star Wars, then this is good because it doesn't do that.
I like that. That's one of the reasons why I was like, I kind of like this. Like, it feels like disconnected enough from the main Star Wars storyline to where it could actually be interesting for me as someone who doesn't care about Star Wars canon.
I mean, the main Star Wars storyline is it's so fucking bad at this point, right? Like, it was amazing at one point, but
like every storyline in a Star Wars piece of media is the same. It's like, we're up against the Empire. That's kind of it.
Yeah. I liked it, and I will continue to watch it. There's only 2 episodes out, and I'm sure it'll be 8 episodes because all these Disney shows are 8 episodes.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was fun. So that is how I leveled up. What about you, Johnny?
Well, how do you feel about more Star Wars talk?
Good.
Great.
Feel good.
Oh,
I like Star Wars.
I want to know about your game of the year, which is the first quadruple A game.
Yeah, no, wasn't that Avatar?
No, I thought it was this one.
Oh, no, it was Skulls and Bones.
Bones.
Was
it Skull and Bones? Okay.
Yeah,
I
bet will be discontinued by the end of next year. That's my hot bet. Yeah, it's Star Wars Outlaws. I thought it would be more Assassin's Creed-y, but it's actually more of an RPG. I guess the later Assassin's Creeds have been kind of RPG-ish too, but it's like a stealth game. It's got a lot of Deus Ex. There's a lot of air vents you can crawl into, and like secret ways to get inside things. And yeah, it's like a quest-based action RPG. It's like a cyberpunk. It is very good so far. It is the first Star Wars thing I've played with just like quest conversations where all 3 people involved are women, which I don't think I've seen really in a game before, except maybe
so
like
passes a Bechdel test.
Yeah, except maybe Final Fantasy X too. I really like that there's like a busty old broad, but she's Mon Calamari, like Admiral Akbar. I don't know why she has memories, but that doesn't matter. It's still fun. And the graphics are it does look amazing, for AAA stuff. It took a while to get it looking the way I wanted on my PC. Like,
so how long? Like, was it tweaking the settings on your PC, or was it the game being patched that made it ultimately playable for you?
I think it had already been patched. I don't think there's been any big patches since I started playing it.
They had like a big day, like 2 or 3 patch, right?
There's a huge overhaul which let the stealth be optional that just came out like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah,
right before I started playing. Yeah. But like I've got to the parts where stealth used to be mandatory, and it might as well be mandatory because you really screw it up if you screw up the stealth sections. There's a lot of punishment to losing still, and I don't mind that. It's like it's a stealth game. Like, you're a thief. You're stealing things, and your missions are to infiltrate places and steal them without getting caught. So it makes sense.
Do you feel like the stealth is a burden, or do you have the right tools to kind of do it effectively?
You have so many tools, and to the point that's a little ridiculous. Like, there's this one base where it's the main base for this faction, but there's tall grass. I mean, okay, it's built into a cave, but still, you think they would mow the tall grass in their base for you that you're standing in.
The thing that annoys me about stealth sections in games,
mow their lawns, obviously.
They will keep it stealth proof though. But like, I feel like the thing that annoys me about stealth games, and I know this because I just played the Spider-Man 2 stealth section today where you have to play as Mary Jane. Having to just like do physical sneaking around enemies and you don't know their like patrol patterns or lines of sight is
it's also not
frustrating.
instant fail. Like it gives you a really generous window of
so there's a lot of like Metal Gear like
Yeah, like basically it's like the Assassin's Creed games where a meter fills up as they see you, and it's a pretty slow meter. So they'll, even if it just fills up a little bit, they'll probably come and look around, but you can take that to your advantage and then like knock them out when they come over. So sometimes them seeing you is not a bad thing. It's only if the alarm's called that you really fail. So you can like knock out people. You've got, you know how you can set phasers to stun in Star Wars and it does like the circle blast. That's how. Yeah, so you got that, but that's a rechargeable thing. So it takes like 30 seconds to recharge, and that's really cool. You definitely punch a lot of people that seemingly don't deserve to be punched. So they're just like fixing a machine or something. You just walk up behind them and just like punch them in the gut and slam their head into the desk. But the main character is really likable. And it's such a Last Jedi game. Like, not only, main characters mostly being women, the set in Kanto, which was that casino planet from Last Jedi. It starts off in Kanto.
I like that. I'm gonna wishlist this.
Yeah,
when it goes on sale, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, I'd say get it when if you're into that kind of game, because it's so far, it hasn't really been crashy or anything like that on me. So. That's not been a problem.
This feels like a good I'm bored game.
Yeah.
It feels to me it's like it'll hit Game Pass eventually, I assume.
Yeah, for sure. All the Assassin's Creed games
it's going to be on EA Play, definitely.
It's not an EA game, it's Ubisoft.
Oh, it's an Ubisoft game? I thought EA had the Star Wars license.
Me too, but they're giving it to everyone. Remember the Quantic Dream has that Star Wars game.
Quantic Dream. Oh man, that
game's never coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well,
Papa, can I use your laser sword? There could be French people in space.
That's true.
But yeah, the like your little alien buddy, not as cute as BD1 from Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, but still pretty cute.
John, I have a question because you've played Jedi Survivor and Jedi Outlaws for the first time, like pretty recently.
Yeah.
Does Jedi Outlaws edge out Jedi Survivor?
Just that I like Cal's not a bad character, but I really like Kay. Kay is Didn't
you just say a couple weeks ago you're like Cal Kestis is one of the or were you talking about Jedi Outlaws girl?
Yeah, I mixed them up. Like,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you originally said it, you're like, Cal Kestis is my favorite. I want to be like, me too. But that was at like 3 a.m. and then I woke up the next morning and you had corrected it. And I was like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Kay. She's awesome. And
I think Cal Kestis is also pretty
cool.
Yeah,
he's not bad.
I think he's getting his own movie or something.
I just like the more
Kestis.
RPG Deus Ex feeling gameplay than the Dark Souls-y gameplay. So that's why I've been more into this one, I think.
I might give that a shot.
Yeah, and there's all like the town is just so they put so much effort into like every stall is different. There's no repeated content over and over. It doesn't seem like generic buildings, and I don't know. They definitely put a ton of effort into it. And I know it's a AAA game, and they don't need my cheerleading, but this is a really good game.
If it's good, it's good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play indie games. I'll play more indie games. I promise.
All right, well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. I would like to plug our Patreon at patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. You can find all of our great bonus content. We have level up episodes. We've got a lot of spooky Halloween content. We've got movie commentaries. We've got movie talks. We've got instant classics. Just give it a spin. At the $3 level, you get access to all the content that we have on there. At the $5 level, you get access to all that content, plus the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. The game that we're playing now is a result of a listener vote. Just to clarify, because there's been some confusion about this in our Discord, the cadence of games that we play, we do one vote game, and then we do one host pick, and the host picks revolve through the four of us. So the last host pick was
Vanessa's Dishonored.
Vanessa's Dishonored, and now we're playing Sea of Stars. I think there's kind of an open rivalry question battle between if the next game is BioWare or a Matt pick.
It's a Matt
so
pick. It's called Mattuary, and it's a fucking Matt pick.
We'll see who prevails in that. But regardless,
Also, Vanessa is gone. I think
Yeah, she's gone.
I think she died on her way home to her home planet. I feel the same, Vanessa. It is after midnight. I wish I was dead. I don't know why we're still doing this.
We're almost done. We're almost
done. Yeah. I'm doing the.
We started recording this episode 4 hours ago.
3.
So no matter
Million.
what tier you subscribe to, we do like to thank our patrons personally at the end of every episode. I'm going to start us off this week by thanking Wedge Coon, Hayden Neff, Butcher Pete's Sharp Salami. Congrats to Seattle Sounders for hosting the World Cup in 2025. Tracy, Eduardo Franco, Andy Smith, Chris Penyak, Angel, and Sean Walsh.
I'd like to thank My Battery is Low, Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Brian Pitt, Stephen Paget, Addicted to the Smell of Natty Ice, Star Drifter, Gigantified Micro Space Hamster, Lex of Ariel, Wake Up Call, Make It Hatben, and Amanda Douglas.
I'd like to thank Sol Wagner, Edda Rule, Ryan Schmidt, Justin Rash, Wash in the Wind, Amanda Pyers, Tracy, the Borg Queen, Jordan Mims, Seth G, I Kill Gods for Fun, Daniel Wood, Justin Ham, Sexy Grandma's Retirement Home. More RPGs need skills that are just pull an apple out of your backpack. I agree with that. Thank God for the Power of Andraste, Omaha Zookeeper, Josh Holt, Sean Gonzalez, Matt Jorgensen, and David Green.
All right, well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or on Blue Sky. Beeskeet us at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Ghana, wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on YouTube. Links are in the good old show notes.
All right, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
I'm Vanessa.
Woo, that was perfect. Pitch
Thank
perfect.
Bye.
Oh, sorry about that.
Bye. Hit
Okay,
and stop.
bye.
I hope Vanessa stopped.
All right.
I will say in regard to the Rainbow Conches, I guess this is my complaint about the game week.
He will,
This
but
game
not right
early on is...
So much for that new internet.
What?
now. It's gonna take
I thought
some time.
is he burping? Is he? I can't remember. See if he's actually just trying to hold in a burp or if he's frozen. Because
If he is holding it in, he is doing an amazing job of being very, very still.
That sucks.
Man, I
wonder
got
if he
pretty
knows
sick
that
last
he's
week.
frozen, or if he's just still talking. You got
He's
sick?
probably still talking. Yeah, I got really sick last week, and then you
Oh,
all
that's
making
right. You
fun
lost
of
your
me.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah, my throat was so sore.
I'm sorry,
Everyone at
Johnny.
my work got it.
I keep hearing there are things going around, and that's why I am staying inside. Don't deal
Look
with
how
any of
cool
that.
Jim is. Jim's pretty cool. Sorry. I will cut that. Clap. There, I clapped. Can you clap, Vanessa? I'm holding my
Sure.
phone. I don't want to break my phone. Anyway.
Let's continue.
Yeah.